And welcome into the Tuesday edition. Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Robby Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Ian Safar here with you, live from our Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. Hope everybody had a wonderful weekend. We had the long weekend, Joe. We're back this morning. How we doing? What's going on?
Doing all right. Doing better than the hoodie over here.
Good stuff from old Billy B last night, Ian. They looked great out there, didn't they?
Not great.
My
no.
goodness. 48 to 14.
Off to a good start.
Yeah.
But
He had I looked up on the TV, Joe, and I saw the interview he was doing. I think it was Holly Rowe that was out there last night. And I was like, wow, he's got that hoodie on, huh? Got that hoodie, cut off sleeves. He's just immediately getting in there with it at North Carolina.
Sure.
And then they hung around for, I don't know, quarter. And then that was about it.
I mean, they got absolutely pantsed. I mean, they got absolutely destroyed. It's one game, so there's so much overreaction to this whole weekend of college football that we can have. There's a lot.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot there.
I mean, and a long way to go on all this stuff, but like this whole, well, I'm just a genius, a schematic genius. And again, that's basically what they're saying. Like, this is just the 33rd NFL team. Now that's funny.
I saw a tweet last night.
That's funny.
And I need to remember who it was that said basically like, God, I hope the 33rd NFL team never has to play the 32nd NFL team. It'd be rough.
My goodness.
did you hear they had 70 transfers this year, too? I don't know if you heard that in the broadcast or not. I think it was mentioned once or twice.
Did they mention that Ryan Williams was 17 years old last year?
They might have brought that up in the same sentence, actually. It's unbelievable. But yeah, I mean, they showed his girlfriend in the press box last night, too. A lot of stuff going on.
They showed Jordan and Jordan.
They did.
Both Jordans, Air Jordans.
Yeah, a lot of stuff going on there. 34-point loss, the largest apparently in the season opener for North Carolina since 2003.
And the first time that a Bill Belichick team has ever given up 48 points. So,
making history out there last night. Wake up, Bill.
Welcome to college football. I mean, it's not like the Horned Frogs, they look good last night, but I don't think they're going to be a spectacular team this year. So, baby. I mean, they were just dominated, and I'm looking at that and it's like, man, like Dabo, NC State, they're just going to wail on him this year, aren't they? Yeah. Maybe not, because week one sometimes looks ridiculous in retrospect, but I wouldn't, this could be ugly.
They say week one's a liar. I don't know that week one normally is a 34-point liar. Like, like I think it's a liar to some degree. I don't know if it's a liar to that degree. They look bad.
Right. Like Clemson last year got just destroyed by Georgia. And so there was a lot of, I remember actually being like, Cade Klubnik stinks, man. That guy can't play. And then as the season went on, he was good. And then all of a sudden people are talking about him as a number one pick. And then you watch him the other night, you're like, yeah, now why did people think he was going to be the number one pick? But there's an example.
Exactly. I mean, we'll get into that game coming up. But I mean, basically my takeaway from him is the same it's always been, which is, he looks real good against the teams that aren't any good. And then you play against actual defense and it's like, I mean, he's all right. He's not the worst quarterback I've ever seen, but like, I don't understand where this idea that he's like number one pick overall comes from.
Well, especially when you watch that game and then watch the other quarterback. That guy is good.
Yeah, I've never really understood around Cade Klubnik. So we'll see. I mean, there's still plenty of time for them to get better, and they're probably going to be in the playoff. But yeah,
I bet you he beats the crap out of North Carolina.
I bet he does. I bet he looks great against North Carolina. We got a lot of things to get into on the program today. Week one of college football was really good. Was awesome. We will get into all that. Some overreactions, as Joe Rexrode said. A lot of things to get into on that front. We will get into Tennessee. We will get into Vanderbilt. And by the way, it's game week for the Tennessee Titans. Finally, we have made it to game week here for the Titans. So we'll take your thoughts on all of it throughout the show today. 615-737-1025, our phone number. Joe, let's start on the Vols, which feels like forever ago at this point, but it did happen on Saturday at 11 a.m. They take down Syracuse 45-26, the final score in Atlanta. They're up 17-0 after the first quarter. Defense got a little squirrely in the second half there, and was inconsistent would probably be the way I put it. But overall, you're talking about a 19-point win and a game where the biggest question on your team was at the quarterback and wide receiver spot. And I thought, for the most part, both sets of obviously the quarterback and then the wide receivers looked pretty good in game one. And the offense was productive, and they get basically a 20-point win against the Syracuse Orange. So, Joe, what did you make of Tennessee in week one? Joey Aguilar, who threw for 247 yards and 3 touchdowns in their week one performance against the Orange.
Yeah, really good start. Really good start. Especially, I mean, get great analysis by me, right? You know, low scoring game. You know, you saw a lot of that in college football this weekend, right? You saw a lot of just, oh God, these offenses right now. But Tennessee wasted no time, and obviously the deep shot to Braylon Staley, and that was pretty from Joe Aguilar. I thought overall he was good. He missed a few throws, but he's athletic. He definitely is going to be, you know, I think the QB run aspect will be real helpful for this offense. And I thought, you know, you wanted to see more from Matthews. I feel like he pops when he gets the ball, right? But
they were off a little bit with each other.
Yeah. But, you know, the backs are good. I mean, you didn't have Sanders in the offensive line, you know, I thought looked pretty good. Syracuse is a decent team. Actually, I think that Angeli is going to be pretty good. I think that guy's a pretty good pickup for them. So, yeah, Tennessee gave up some plays and stuff on defense and probably wanted a better performance overall, but I don't think that was a dog food offense they were playing either. So overall, I'd say pretty encouraging for Tennessee.
Yep, I thought a good start. You know, Aguilar, I thought looked good. I mean, the ball that he threw to Staley for the 73-yard touchdown, he couldn't have run up and handed it to him any better. I mean, it was a perfect throw.
Yeah.
The way that all came together. So it was good there. I thought he was on time. I thought, you know, it was interesting the way that they kind of formatted their offense out there. You had a bunch of the tight ends. Ethan Davis and Kitzelman were in the backfield basically a lot. So that was interesting to watch. So like it was I thought a really good debut for him. I thought a really good debut for the offense. And look, people have been, and we've talked about this a little bit, they've been hyping up the loss of Dylan Sampson a lot, and I get it because Dylan Sampson was really, really good. But I think you found that Tennessee's going to be able to run the ball. Like yep. they are. And Sampson's a great player, but they got 3 guys at running back that you feel pretty good about. In Bishop, Lewis, and Star Thomas, I thought was really good in that game.
I like how he looks.
Yeah. So I mean, Tennessee is going to be able to run the ball this year. We knew that coming in. They've run for over 2,500 yards every year. Heupel's been there. And what they put up in this game, 247,
246, 6.2 a carry. You know, I mean, it's just a hard thing to deal with, especially if you got a quarterback, you know, delivering and playing well like Aguilar. It puts defenses in a bind. And, you know, Syracuse, excuse me, you know, 2.3 a carry, 44 attempts for 103 yards. So for the most part, you know, you did what you wanted to do defensively. Gave up some plays downfield, but pretty impressive and convincing performance.
Well, the big thing is, from a Tennessee standpoint, they're dealing with a lot of injuries early. Like Ricky Gibson left the game, didn't play basically in the second half, and now Heupel said yesterday that he's out for an extended period of time. So it doesn't sound like he's going to be back for Georgia. So you could be in a situation in 2 weeks where you don't have Ricky Gibson and you don't have Jermon McCoy as your starting 2 corners against Georgia, and that does not seem to be pretty good. I like what I saw from Colton Hood. You know, they had some corners that came in, like Ty Redmond, true freshman, out there playing well. Like, he looked good out there. But if you don't have Gibson and McCoy in a couple weeks against Georgia, that could be a big problem for you. So we'll see what that looks like and whether or not McCoy's back by then. But I thought Colton Hood, the transfer from Colorado, looked pretty good.
Yeah, I agree. And boy, you know, if there's a way to fast track McCoy for that game, that would be I mean, I've kind of felt in my mind that maybe that was I don't know why I'm having trouble today talking. I've kind of thought like maybe that was the idea, right? The plan, like, you know, just hold off and then be ready for that game. Now it may be urgent, but you're not going to do anything to jeopardize the long term still. That would be very bad for that game.
They had some trouble at defensive tackle, had Jackson Moy go down, and then they had some young guys step in at defensive tackle. So we'll see what that looks like for them. So that's really the main thing for them right now defensively is, can you get somewhat healthy at some point? Because they're struggling at cornerback right now. They're struggling at defensive tackle. You mentioned David Sanders at right tackle. He couldn't play, got hurt in practice last week, and then woke up and did not get cleared by the doctors to play against Syracuse. So they had to move Jesse Perry from guard to tackle. Thought he did fine.
Yeah.
Look, this week for Tennessee, it's you're taking on ETSU. So it's basically like anybody who's dinged up a little bit is probably not going to play. And then can you get in, get out without anybody else getting hurt? And then you got Georgia coming in. Like, that's basically what it's going to be. So, I mean, next week, it's going to be a big test as to what Tennessee actually is. I have no idea how good or not good Syracuse is going to be. But I thought specifically from the quarterback, it would be difficult to ask Aguilar to come in and do much more than he did. Like, I'm not going to go overboard with it and be like, oh, Aguilar was perfect out there. Like, he was high on some throws. He missed some throws early in the game. But I thought, given the situation that he was coming into, I think you'd be crazy to say he did not exceed your expectations coming in game one.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, look, I wasn't sure he'd win the job, and I thought this game could be ugly and dicey. And yeah, he looked, especially again, he's only been there a little bit. He hasn't been in this offense. This offense is different. It just is. But he seemed to have a really good command of it. Again, missing some throws, but it didn't look operationally like an issue. They were able to, I thought they really played with tempo at times.
Yeah.
I thought at times it seemed to me like they were a little better at going fast than a lot of last year. I don't know. I mean, that has to be a lot on him too. I think it's also maybe by design, because I think they need to get back to that. But yeah, for a first performance, pretty good. And then, yeah, like you said, this week is avoid injury, pad stats, have some fun, and then we're definitely going to find out more after that.
You know what else I noticed this weekend from Aguilar? I looked up, I was like, wow, that ball went over the middle of the field. Hey, there's another pass over the middle of the field. I hadn't seen that in the offense the last 2 years.
That is true.
It's crazy. You can open up the middle of the field here.
I'd throw to Miles Kitselman a lot
if
I was Tennessee.
I'd probably do that too. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. We got a lot to get into on the program today. Alabama goes down at Florida State. Arch struggles mightily against Ohio State. Vanderbilt gets a big win. We got a lot to get into on the college football front from week one. We will do all that. Take your thoughts on any way you want to take it on the college football front. 615-737-1025. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game.
This is Aguilar taking a toss, and it's caught middle of the field, out to the 5-yard line, touchdown Braylon Staley. Joey Aguilar throwing it down the middle of the field for 73 yards. How about that for an answer?
Joey, congratulations. After what was an interesting and ramped up offseason for you over spring and summer, how did it finally feel to wear that uniform and get out here?
Man, it feels great. It's almost like a home game. We're in Atlanta, good experience, but I'm glad we got the win. A lot to work on, but, I'm grateful. We're going to enjoy it tonight, but get back to work.
It was a ramp up of learning this offense. How were you able to go out there today and lead this offense in the manner that you did?
The trust that the coaches got in me, trust that players got in me, and then vice versa, the trust I got in everybody else. At the end of the day, it's football. I've been playing my whole life, and just go out there and let it loose.
That's Joey Aguilar after a 45-26 win for Tennessee over the weekend.
Who does he sound like? This is reminding me like the Callahan, like, the Step Brothers thing. There's his voice reminds me of someone I can't quite place.
I don't know.
Someone help us out.
I don't know. That's a pretty unique one. Nothing really came to mind.
Who does Joey Aguilar sound like?
He sounds like somebody. He sounds like somebody in movies. I'll figure it out.
I'm laughing. I'm seeing on my Twitter page, Aaron Torres, who is a host for Fox Sports Radio. It says Bill Belichick if Tom Brady was never born, and it's just a picture of Butch Jones walking around Tennessee coaching out.
Oh boy! Oh my goodness! I mean, there's some takes to be had about college football week 1.
So let me ask you, where do you want to start? Do you want to start with Arch Manning? Do you want to start with Alabama getting beat by Florida State? Or do you want to start with Nico and Vols fans hate watching? Where would you like to begin?
I don't know. I mean, I like it all. I do have to give a shout out to Liam McLeod. On to Charlotte.
Yeah.
Watch that UNC Charlotte game this weekend, guys. I'm interested.
What's the line?
That's a good question. And how much has it changed, if at all? I can figure this out. I know I can find the line previous to last night. I know it because I know I have it in my email.
Okay.
I'll be very interested to see, if and how much that change on that one is. But yeah, there's so wait, would you hit up there? You went
Arch, Alabama, Florida State, and also Vols fans hate watching Nico.
Yeah. So it's funny.
Great day for Vols fans on Saturday, by the way.
Yes. Oh yeah. Well, it's funny because I'm doing this thing this year where it's message board Monday.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
And so and those are the three things that I basically I'm just like going through message boards and making fun of people and their dumb posts, kind of, but also some good posts, some very good posts too, on these message boards. But anyways, those were the three topics. Let's stick with Tennessee because we've been talking Tennessee, so let's stick with Tennessee. I've noticed a lot of really good conversation, and I've really enjoyed seeing some Tennessee fans, and you may disagree with this, saying, "Hey guys, can we just support Joey and not hate Nico that much?" But as soon as he threw that TD pass, Aguilar the other day, Vol Twitter, in unison, "Nico never made that throw." I'm like, all right. I mean, I'm sure Joey Aguilar will probably overthrow a receiver or two. That was a beautiful pass. But just the whole, and now
he missed a couple of throws in this past game.
Well, sure. But I mean, one of those obvious, the guy's wide open. It's the easiest touchdown ever.
I mean,
and Joe Milton and Nico overthrew.
I will say it was pretty funny. The first drive UCLA had, Nico had a guy wide open down the field and it just sailed it by about 5 yards. And I was like,
you loved it.
Oh boy. I went immediately to Twitter.
Well, here's the thing. Let me ask you this right now. Take away all the BS, okay? Take away all the BS. Just player for player. Would you take Nico or Joey Aguilar as your quarterback?
I mean, probably Nico because the talent level. But again, there were obvious limitations with him in the offense last year. We were talking about him taking a step from year 1 to year 2. I still think talent-wise, it's not close. Nico has more talent than Joey Aguilar does. But like I will say, the offense looked way different on Saturday with Aguilar running the offense. Like they just did stuff that they didn't do with Nico last year. So it's honestly a better question than I thought it would be. It really is. Yeah, and I'm trying not to overreact to week 1, but I'm going more just operation of the offense. Like it was different.
Yeah. I mean, I will never know. Like Nico, regular offseason, no BS. You go through all this stuff. How different does it look? I think it probably would have looked quite a bit different. And the hard part with that is if you watched him the other night, you might be like, oh my, like you might think he stinks. He plays for
they're bad.
One of the like they are like bottom 10 maybe.
They're bad.
They're so bad. And it's so to me the takeaway is just my God again did he blow this?
He totally screwed himself.
Yes.
Yeah. Like that's the takeaway.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I mean I agree. Like Tennessee operation looked better. I think that would have happened with him, but maybe not. I don't know. I mean that's a good question. Maybe there are just some limitations with him. He certainly, he made a few plays. He had a beautiful TD pass, actually, like the one, like that was pretty. He had some runs that I thought were like, I basically watched the whole game. So I guess I was hate watching too. I don't know. I really was like hoping he would do something good for himself. I was like, God, this is going to get so bad. And also I hope he never, ever goes on the internet again.
Well,
that would be good.
Here's kind of like, I knew that was going to happen the other night. I knew when I saw the schedule that he was playing Utah, that Tennessee fans were going to stay up and they're going to watch it. And I figured it probably wouldn't go well for UCLA because I know how bad UCLA is. So we talked about that the moment he went there, which was like, why are you going there? Like they are terrible. So what are you doing? So I figured that game probably wasn't going to go well for him. I wonder if this is going to be like a one-time, for me as a Tennessee fan, I saw it. I don't know how much more Nico UCLA I'm going to be watching this year. Like, I did it the one time, and now I'm like, all right, they're bad. He's probably not going to have a very good year.
Right.
And I don't know how much of my time I'm going to spend watching it at this point.
Yeah, like I think I totally get it week 1. And now it's like your quarterback's Joey Aguilar, Vols fans, and you have a good team, and you got a chance to to have a good season, and he could be good. And yeah, I mean, like, do you need any more Nico viewing? I mean, it's not going to be pretty, man. It's not going to be pretty. No, I mean, going there is like, it's a Big Ten Power 4 school. So I don't know what exactly the money is, but probably like they probably paid pretty well, right? And I mean, it is going back home, and it's the job that opened because that's where Tennessee got Joey Aguilar. So. Like you're down to like not many great choices, but man, speaking, and on the topic of like quarterback transfers, high expectations, I don't think North Carolina's got Gio Lopez was a good pickup at all for Bill Belichick. The kid Max Johnson who came in late looked actually okay last night. So there's and by the way, I just found this that was off the board. So the North Carolina at Charlotte, they sent out lines yesterday, and it was off the board, which I guess makes sense.
No spread when I looked just now.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting. It'd be interesting to see where that comes in.
Yes, it will.
But yeah, I think Vols fans just whatever, just let Nico be and.
Do you realize who you're talking to?
Yes, I know.
Okay,
Cody says
just trying to make sure, these are the same people that. Shiano Sunday, and when Lane Kiffin were chasing him out of town with a mattress on fire. Like this is so they're going to watch Nico and hate watch probably all year. Yeah. I'm not like I got my one in and I feel okay. And frankly, like I was watching, I was like, God, they are bad. Like it almost takes the fun out of it how bad they are.
Yeah. Now I also do think, and I tweeted, what about enjoying. Devon Dampier, Utah's quarterback, they might be freaking good. They might be a wagon.
Might be.
So I don't, but it's hard to tell because UCLA is cheeks. Like they're in a bad spot. Someone saying you're seeing Nico without an all SEC back. Yeah, well, you're seeing him without player. I mean, you're seeing him without anything. Dustin from Hopkinsville says Joey elevates a team, Nico doesn't. Yeah, see,
we'll see.
Yeah.
Look,
he did a good job.
I don't think Syracuse is very good. That's me. Like I don't think Syracuse is very good.
I don't think their D's very good at all.
Like their defense not very good. We'll see what their offense looks like. But Syracuse, to me, is probably going to win like 5-6 games this year. So I don't know that I'd get too carried away if you're a Tennessee fan with the Syracuse win. We're going to find out a lot here in a couple weeks when they take on Georgia.
Yeah, no doubt. Nevada Josh says, hate watching. Damn, you're right. That is what I was doing. I need to go to church Sunday. A lot of love on the text line, by the way, for Austin P. A lot of let's go P. Austin P going into Murfreesboro and taking it to Middle Tennessee. Great for Austin P.
Not Chris good for Derek Mason,
and not good for the Blue Raiders.
Fly
is open. Let's go P.
That's right.
There you go.
I mean,
that's tough, man. That's a bad start.
That's a bad start for Derek Mason in year 2. Austin P, by the way, has Georgia coming up this weekend. Goes from MTSU, big win, and now they got Georgia on the road.
Watch out, Kirby.
See what happens. Georgia, head on a swivel. 615-737-1025, our phone number. We got a whole lot more to get into on the college football front. The Titans have their game week this week. We will get into that in the 7 o'clock hour. You're listening to Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game.
Yeah, multiple things. Anytime you give up 2 turnovers for touchdowns offensively, that's not good. We gave up several long plays on defense, where they gained a lot of yards on one play. So just too many of those. There wasn't any one thing. It was a combination of multiple things. Too many 3-and-outs, too many long plays on defense, and then 2 turnovers. Well, we had 3 turnovers, 2 turnovers, touchdowns. You can't overcome that.
That's Bill Belichick. He's right. It was everything. It was not one thing. They did get their butts kicked in every facet of the game last night.
I mean, that
good observation, Bill.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you, Bill. It's better than under Charlotte. I mean, that first drive really was like think of the excitement level of the UNC fan at that moment, right?
Yeah.
After that, it's like, dude, this guy's a genius. We're going to kick everybody's butt. We are awesome.
Dan Wolken fired up out there.
Was he?
I don't know. He came on our show last week and said they're going like 11-1 or whatever it was, didn't he? 10-2.
God, you're right. That's right. Wolken. Boy, I haven't read his comment, but it was something like, like you'd expect, like complete debacle from Belichick in opener. Yeah. You might want to revise that one a little bit, Dan. Oh boy.
It's starting to look like Ryan McGee may be correct, who came on our show and was like, yeah, I think it's going to be a total disaster. We'll see. It's 1 week. Bill's got some time to figure some things out down there.
Yeah, it's, like a lot of new coaches come into a place like that, and you could see something like this happening.
Yeah.
And realistically, did anybody think they were going to be just great right away? No, but it was so bad, like just so completely. And Freddie Kitchens is your OC. I don't know, man.
And your son is the DC.
And then Steve's over there with his
hair,
whatever the hair is happening right now. And I'm not so sure. But then again, Matt Patricia's a genius again. So
well,
at least we have
I was going to bring that up. Matt Patricia looked awesome as defensive coordinator for Ohio State against Texas. Arch Manning did not look good. Matter of fact, Arch Manning looked downright bad for most of the game.
Bad.
And it looked like he started to somewhat get in a rhythm toward the end of the second half there, but it was too late at that point, and Ohio State walks away with the win in a low-scoring affair on Saturday in that one. So what do you take away from that, Joe? What do you take away? Not only, I don't think it's a huge shock that Texas went into Ohio State and lost, right? I mean, you're talking about the reigning national champion in a very tough place to play. But the look is totally inept as they did offensively, and specifically for Manning to look as bad as he did offensively. What's the takeaway from that in week 1?
Well, first of all, I mean, I have to go to Dustin in Hopkinsville, who says he'd much rather have Aguilar than Arch Manning. And I said, I'm not sure. Are you serious? He said, oh, absolutely. Joey over Arch. He's way overhyped. So Let's please pump the brakes. My God. I will say that Arch, he was bad. I mean, just the lack of accuracy. I saw Dan Orlovsky breaking down maybe halftime of maybe it was the LSU Clemson game. I don't know. Or was it last night? It all runs together. But he had a good film breakdown of the different things that Ohio State was doing to change the picture after the snap, stuff so everybody thinks Patricia's awesome. That's great. It being at Ohio State, it's amazing. Like, oh my God, Greg Schiano. Wow. Like go through all the coaches. Man, when they have the better players in the other team every week, it's amazing how much smarter they are. Crazy. But Orlovsky broke down the some of the things that would mess with Arch, and that's all fine. But it still didn't. And he's trying to explain the missed throws, but like some of them are like it's right there in front of you, and you just miss them. The throw to Wingo late was brutal. Now he did have a couple big time throws finally at the end of the game. Or late in the game, but then again, he's just missing these throws. So my big takeaway is let's go back to just the ridiculous overhyping of the kid without knowing what he is, and the ridiculous, he's clearly the number 1 pick without really seeing him play as a starting quarterback in college football. Could he end up being great? Sure. I don't watch this game and say, oh God, he just can't play at all. But accuracy is a pretty big part of QB, and his mechanics to me kind of look a little weird, it's like there's a little hitch when he throws, I thought. So, and again, I'm no expert on that, but it just looked a little bit strange coming out of his hand at times. So, and then, that Texas fans it's either he's bad or like now Steve Sarkisian is the new James Franklin. And it's like, well, I mean, you've gotten to the semifinals the last 2 years, and Like he won at Alabama with Saban 2 years ago. Like that's not James Franklin stuff. So, but it's again time to overreact. I think Arch will be fine, but will he be great?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I can't watch this game and tell you with certainty that I think that.
Well, it was pretty stunningly bad. Like, again, people are acting like this is the first time we've seen him play college football, and it's not. We've seen him play college football games. Now, the competition went up dramatically, but he played in the playoff. Like, he played in the playoff games in, a more limited role for sure, but he got in there, and he didn't look totally lost. Like, that was like he just looked lost on Saturday. And then I think it trickled down to the fundamentals. Like there's that one throw that he made where he's basically standing flat-footed and tried to flick one in their sidearm on a crossing route and threw a ball 2 yards behind the receiver.
That was the Wingo.
Yeah, he just looked bad. And I don't know if he was seeing stuff that he just was not prepared for, or they were doing something that he didn't expect after the snap. I don't know what it was on Saturday, but he looked really, really bad. So, I mean, naturally, he's been just getting eviscerated since then. I mean, social media has been an interesting place to watch when it comes to the Arch Manning front since then. We knew that was going to happen one way or the other, right? Like it was going to be, if it was really good, he was going to be anointed. And if it was really bad, he was going to be the most overrated player ever. I'm with you. I think he'll end up being fine. I think they'll end up being fine. I did expect their offense to look like they had a little bit more of a clue than they did in that game against Ohio State. And maybe that's just full credit to Ohio State, and they're just going to be an absolute wagon out there again. I have no idea.
Yeah, well, they will be. I mean, it's amazing that they can lose 8 guys, and it's just like the reload, like their new linebackers are ridiculous.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And the pass. And look, it's also, Texas, it is week 1 offensive line play too. So I expect that to get better, but they didn't look very good up front.
I feel like Arch needs to be a little bit better in the pocket. No? I don't know how much of a runner, how effective he's going to be as a runner against top level defenses. Because I don't know, is he in the top level runner athlete? And when you play,
pretty good. Yeah, he didn't do it that much.
But when you play like Ohio State and top level NFL defenses, I don't know if he's going to be able to get away with running as much.
Yeah.
So I think he just needs to, work on this pocket game.
Well, I agree, but also I would say, in games like that, maybe you do a little bit more design stuff with them, to put defenses in a bind. But
yeah, maybe,
but yeah, I agree. He's got to be able to hang in there and make throws. It was bad. It was bad. If it would have been good, if he would have been awesome and they would have won, then the discussion would be Ohio State fans say, hey, Ryan Day all over again.
Yes.
Never mind.
Yes.
Never mind the natty. You suck.
That's right.
So instead now they think Matt Patricia's great and also good. Jim Knowles, the last 4 years as a defensive coordinator, the number 1 defensive coordinator in football, and that's Oklahoma State before Ohio State too. Yeah. Those 4 years combined. Last year they were number 1 in every single category. But now, bye, Jim. See ya. Now, again, does it help Jim Knowles that he had the most ridiculous talent? Yes, but let's please pump the brakes on freaking Matt Patricia. Okay.
Well, as long as he's not, the head coach or trying to be the offensive coordinator, I think he'll be fine out there. It's when you put him as the offensive coordinator that you might run into some problems.
Yeah, that's which is the genius. Good job.
Good stuff there.
God, this is back to him a little. Like this is like potentially really damaging to the legacy if it goes bad there. You know what I mean? It's just like you just never should have done this, man. And he was offended that like Atlanta made him go through all these hoops and then didn't hire him. But it's like, there's probably a reason for that too. Right?
Yeah, I would say so. Alabama waltzes down to Florida State and gets their butts kicked by the Seminoles. Tommy Castellanos out there just balling, was talking in the summer, running his mouth about how Alabama doesn't have Nick Saban to come save him. And turns out maybe he's right down there. What did you make of Florida State and their season opening win coming off a 2-10 season against Kalen DeBoer in year 2 at Alabama?
First of all, yeah, Florida State is a Brett Saberhagen of college football, which is an 80s baseball reference that you'd have to be a certain age. Like every other year, he was either like Cy Young Award winner or he'd go like 9-12 with a 4.5 ERA. Florida State going from amazing team 2 years ago, 2-10 last year. They look really good now. So that's the Florida State side. And Tommy Castellanos, I mean, he had all this. He was Thomas last year. He loses his job at BC, gets benched. I didn't think he was very good. But, man, Gus Malzahn. You give Gus Malzahn a running quarterback. Man. This is he hasn't been an OC since like 2010 or something like that. I loved. It was fun to watch. It still works if you got that guy. But on the other side, man,
they got some problems.
It's not good, and I don't want to sit here and. I wrote something where I invoked the name Brian Harsin, which might be a little harsh. Brian Harshin.
Nice.
Yeah, thanks. But, man, if you're an Alabama fan, I can't blame you right now for being like, this is just not happening.
They're already talking about running him out of there.
Yeah, it's so early, but 9-5, 5-5 in his last 10, and they just look at him on the sideline. You look at him on the sideline during that game. He looked not only out of answers, but like he wanted to be anywhere else in the world. And no one expected. Saban's on game day, like basically, like, guys, they're gonna be.
Yeah, they're gonna be fine. Don't worry.
The culture's different. I talked to them, all this BS trash talk from Florida State, and then they go out and do that to them. Physically manhandled them. An Alabama football team. This was not some couple fluky plays. They kicked their butt up and down the field. I'm worried about Kalen DeBoer.
Oh, my dad's already like $60 million buyout. Whatever, that's fine.
Pay it.
Well, I got plenty of money.
I'll throw in a few.
Get plenty of money
GoFundMe going.
Yeah. It's like he sucks. It's like, well, we'll see. A lot of people mad at Ty Simpson. It's like, Ty Simpson was not good in that game, but I don't know if I walked away from it saying.
That wasn't
their big problem is Ty Simpson. They got a lot of problems out there.
I thought Ty Simpson actually showed quite a bit of toughness and made some play. Again, they're just like UNC. That first drive was like, oh, man, that's Bama foot. That was like a 10-minute drive, just ran up. Like, oh, this is going to be a walk away, right? That's what Bama fans are thinking, and then it just completely falls apart. No, they have first-round picks all over this offensive line. They're on the freaks list. And they're just getting crushed.
Yeah, it was pretty stunning. Now, and look, Florida State, it's pretty clear that first off, they had a lot of problems last year, but DJ Iamaleava, one of them, not very good. And maybe if quarterback is a huge upgrade this year, they're a factor again in the ACC. We'll see. But they looked, it was 60 minutes where they just kicked their butt on Saturday. It was crazy. Like, I was stunned watching it.
Yeah, I was too. I completely. Yeah, it's like, again, I think the Gus hire, it's pretty smart, man. And the Gus hire and the Castellanos, because I don't like in other offenses, I don't think he's accurate enough. Like that was a problem last year at BC. Is he'd make big plays, but he just wasn't consistent. But if you're gonna do what they did and it's gonna work like that, and then he can hit some shots to Squirrel White, among others.
Yes,
they got a chance.
615-737-1025 is our phone number. 615-737-1025. We got a lot of your thoughts to get to on the college football front. We will do that. Going to next. Titans beginning their season this week. We'll get into that in the 7 o'clock hour. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Taking your thoughts on our phone and text lines, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025. Later today on ESPN 94.9 The Fan, the Sounds taking on Norfolk with first pitch at 5:35. Coverage also available on the Game Nashville app and at thegamenashville.com. Sounds baseball on ESPN 94.9 The Fan, presented by Twin Peaks and Family Leisure. K-Dodd on the YouTube chat says, love that the talk is about DeBoer getting fired and not Hugh Freeze after week 1.
Yeah, Auburn went into Baylor and took it to him. Oh, somebody was actually ripping you on Twitter about your Auburn take.
Oh, yeah? I didn't see it.
Wasn't that you?
I don't know. I mean, the amount of
you
people
took
that
Baylor in the pigskin pick 'em.
I did.
But
The amount of people that
have
have
to be cheeks. I mean, I agreed.
the amount of people that I have muted on Twitter is pretty high. So I did not see anybody ripping me on Twitter. I'll be honest with you. So if you did it, you're muted. Sorry.
We found unmuted. Yeah, I maybe I can go find it. Yeah, it was something about Robby's 7-5 pick or whatever like that. He's gonna. I'm like, well, 7-5 is actually
7-5 be pretty good for Auburn.
Isn't that what you said? Is that what you said? I think that's what
I said 7-5 for LSU, which that's looking good.
Oh, maybe that's what it was.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe it wasn't Auburn.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. But also you're muted, whoever you are.
Yeah, whoever you are.
there
I
you
didn't
go.
see it.
Congratulations. We do have a few things. We have not talked Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt rolled over Charleston Southern. Sold out the game, by the way, which kind of a big deal.
It is.
I mean, that's pretty cool. And Pavia was like 20 for 25, 275. Looked great. Still,
I think he could have thrown the ball left-handed the whole game, and they'd have won by 4 touchdowns.
Which again is progress. I mean, again, Charleston Southern, man.
I watched it. Like I turned it on there, and I was like, oh boy, like this is a name their score game. Like they could make this score whatever they wanted to.
So I will say, your boy Beamer with his Beamer ball got his little punt return, and they end up winning. But Virginia Tech actually outplayed them a lot of that game. Vandy,
it's going to be a good game.
Yeah,
Saturday.
It's going to be a good game. And, Denzel Drones is just, man, he just misses some throws. Again, it's kind of like watching him. It's like I was watching Arch again, But yeah, that's going to be a really good game. It's one of the big games of this week. So, we'll get more into that. But a lot of people on here talking Pavia. Liam McLeod had, how about this question? Would you rather have Joey Aguilar or Diego Pavia?
Well, look, I mean, Diego Pavia's got a much more established body of work in the SEC at this point, so the answer is Pavia. But look, we'll see. I mean, Aguilar played really well in his first game. I don't know why we really got to make it more than that. Like, that's what he did. He came in, he played really well in his first game against a team in Syracuse that I don't think is very good. So we're going to continue to find out about Joey Aguilar. But, I mean the answer to that right now would have to be Pavia, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. It's also tell me what offense you're running, but yeah. Like, look, Aguilar, good start, man. Good start.
Start is about as good as you could have hoped for, given the situation.
And there is so somebody said that he sounded like Joe Pesci. Is that what it is? I have to go back.
I don't know. I don't know if I get Joe Pesci vibes from it.
I'm grateful. We're going to enjoy it tonight, but get back to work.
No.
That's not Pesci.
Not enough. Okay,
it is somebody though.
Yeah.
It is somebody. Oh God, it's gonna bother me.
I don't know. You got to figure this out.
I'm gonna have to figure this out. We will do it. We figured out Step Brothers for Brian Callahan. We'll figure it out.
What did you make of the Battle of the Tigers and LSU going on the road and taking down Clemson on Saturday night?
Hugely impressive to me. And they brought in the new DC last year. Didn't go well. You got some new players, but Perkins is like you take that defense into that place at night. And again, week 1, so defenses, a lot of defenses ahead of offenses on that stuff. But man, that was impressive. And I think that Nussmeier. I mean, I think maybe the 2 most impressive quarterbacks of this weekend were probably Nussmeier and Carson Beck too. I thought
Beck looked good.
I thought Carson Beck was really good. And you kind of forget it's like a year ago. Everybody's like Carson Beck, top 5 pick, and then it's like, oh no, throw him on the scrap heap. Yeah, he can play. He was hurt last year, and I really thought he was good. But to your actual question, very impressive. And again, we talked earlier about Klubnik. He's a good player. He's a very good college quarterback. He's going to be in the NFL. Garrett Nussmeier, to me, is just a much better prospect. I mean, that TD they took away from them, which was, that was tough. But the throw on that play, I mean, I think that team, I mean, I might be flipping to just LSU might win the whole dang thing this year, man. They might.
Oh, I'm gonna
give
plenty of room for Brian Kelly to screw this up.
Yeah,
plenty of room to.
He's got plenty of opportunity.
He will screw it up at some point, but it was impressive in game one. The defense more than anything. Like, I had reached the point with their defense where I was like, yeah, I just need to see it before
show it to me.
I'm going to anoint their defense. But they look really good in week one. Now we'll see where things go from here. We went through the schedule LSU's got a heck of a schedule. So, they got Florida on there. Obviously, Alabama's on there. So we'll see what it all looks like and how they're able to kind of get that together. But LSU, the defense looked really good. And if they got a defense, like, they should be good enough offensively where they can compete. Like, they could be in this thing. So we'll see what that looks like there. But, Alabama on the road, maybe not as daunting as you originally thought. We'll see what that looks like.
Piece of cake.
Again, it is going to be interesting to see when we look back at the end of the year, how much from week one was actually representative of what it's going to look like the rest of the year, and how much of it is like, oh man, can you believe Alabama got their butts kicked by Florida State, who ended up going 5-7 or whatever it was?
Right.
Yeah, like, it's going to be interesting to see how that shakes out.
Yeah, there will be some things from this weekend that November will be like, oh my God, look, can you believe we thought this? Real quick. Okay. Theo Vaughn. Okay.
All right.
Actually,
I can see that a little bit.
Yeah. And this is a little Brian Kelly. I think that might be part of it. Like,
oh boy.
Now, of course, Kelly has
which accent?
Family of voices, but
Brian Kelly's real voice or his fake Southern voice?
Yeah. I also got Barry Oriole on Big Bang. I'm not sure. I didn't really watch that show. And Stale Cracker, the dude who does crawfish boils. I'm not familiar with this, but we'll have to check that out. Thank you for the submissions. We got some ideas.
I don't know who that is.
You know what? Mahomes too, though. There is a little Kermit type thing going on.
You heard it here. Joey Aguilar is Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, exactly.
Straight from the mouth of Joe Rexrode.
Oh, God. I compared him. Back to Mahomes.
You did.
I did.
You did. Let's head to our 1025 The Game phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Welcome in our buddy Mark in Nashville. Mark, good morning. How we doing, man?
Yeah, how you doing, man? Joe, Robby, how y'all doing? Y'all have a good Labor Day.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, how you doing, buddy?
Yeah, I'm doing okay, man. Just trying to get some rest. But hey, Joe, you hit the nail on the head with Alabama, man. They got punked. They got their lunch money taken. The boy, he looks lost. If they don't have the $70 million to get him out of there, they'll go to First Savings and Loan and put the campus up for collateral and get that money together. And they'll pay to get him up out of there because, Joe, if you look at their team, Alabama used to be the bully on the block. But, man, they got so manhandled. It's like they've turned into a finesse team, a West Coast type team. And it's really sad to see that program go down the way it has. Nussmeier looked good this weekend.
Is it sad?
Yeah, it's really sad. Yeah, it is sad, Joe, because that's my team.
Oh,
now I'm gonna give Vanderbilt a puncher's chance to maybe upset them again. I mean, if they can go in there and get a running game and out physical them, who knows? But yeah, like I was saying, Nussmeier looked good this weekend. Dion's team, man, they didn't look good up front. Georgia Tech kind of manhandled them in the running game, gassed them for 200-something yards. But other than that, that was a pretty great weekend for football, man. And Rob, before I go, I know I picked Tampa Bay to get to the Super Bowl, but man, since y'all got my guy from Dallas, man, that's gonna be deep right there, Robbie. Y'all
now switch it from the Tampa Bay to the Green Bay.
Now we're talking. You
can switch it.
Yeah.
The Bays.
Yeah, I mean, Robbie, y'all, Michael Parsons, y'all got a chance there, Robbie. It's going to Matt LaFleur better call a great game. But before I go, Joe, watch Sarkisian, man. He's just like Kyle Shanahan. When he gets in big games, if you ever notice, man, his play calling gets suspect. He didn't really help Arch Manning out Saturday that much. But y'all have a good day, man.
Thank you, Mark. Appreciate you.
See y'all later. All right, man.
Real quick, I do the Alabama part of this. Like, obviously, the Saban lore is gone. He's not there. Like, I do wonder, like, they used to have such a mental advantage heading into the game because everybody knew, like, oh, God, it's Alabama. Like, is that gone? Is it going away?
Yes.
Is it gone? And also, I said this after the Tennessee game last year, and a bunch of Vols fans got mad at me, and that's fine. When are we going to stop storming the field after you beat Alabama?
It's like 11 straight.
The Kalen Moore's 9-5. They've lost plenty since he's been there. Like, when are you going to stop storming the field after beat Alabama?
Real quick, that's the problem. They don't have that edge, but people still get fired up for them.
I know.
So it's like a double whammy for them. Tough. It's really sad to see.
Like the Vanderbilt game last year, that one, sure, storm the field.
Yeah.
Really, anything beyond that? It's like, all right.
Tennessee a couple years ago. Absolutely. Yeah.
But that was with Nick Saban. Yeah, it's a little different.
Yes, exactly.
615-737-1025 is our phone number. The Titans begin play this week. We'll take our first look at the matchup with the Broncos. Some interesting comments from Sean Payton as well that we'll get into. All that ahead. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Hour number 2, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game, live from our Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. Robby Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Ian Safar here with you on this Tuesday morning. We will look at the AFC, the NFC, the playoff picture, who's making it, who's not, coming up here in just a few minutes here on the program. Later this week, we will give our official Titans predictions. Robby Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Ian Safar, our official Titans predictions for this season, coming up later this week.
Yeah, we have to remember today, these predictions today, there's usually some funny stuff to look back
There
on.
is.
With the playoff.
Last year, I picked the Buffalo Bills to miss the playoffs.
That's right.
They did not miss the playoffs last year.
Didn't you pick the Bengals to win it all, too?
Yeah, I did.
Nice.
Really good stuff for me last year. Really just nice stuff.
I only remember. I only remember your bad picks. I don't know why.
Good.
It's weird how they stick in my mind.
It is weird how that happens. The Tennessee Titans finally, mercifully, have made it to game week. Week 1 coming up on Sunday in Denver at Mile High Stadium. You know, Brian Callahan addressed the media. A lot of the same stuff yesterday about Cam Ward and his preparedness and what this week is going to be like to get them ready. I did see an interesting comment from Sean Payton, who I think, is taking a look at the Titans, obviously, and identifying a pretty clear upgrade that they've made. He said, quote, and Paul Kuharsky put this out there, quote, "The number one thing that stood out about the Titans, I've worked with Bill Callahan before. He is a fantastic line coach, and I'm sure they felt they had to get better in that area, and they committed a lot of resources there." And that came up a lot in Brian Callahan's press conference yesterday, too, about the offensive line and how well they played in the preseason. As he was quick to point out, and I would agree, there is a limited amount of connection you can make from preseason play to the regular season. So we're going to find out a lot on Sunday about how much better this offensive line has been. We've talked about for months at this point the stiff tests that the Denver defense is going to provide them. But it is interesting, like, you look at that offensive line, Sean Payton talked about the resources that they have. The starting offensive line, you're not going to get a much better test than they're going to get on Sunday. And if they can hold their own in that matchup, like, they're not going to be perfect in that matchup, but if you can hold your own against that Denver front, like, to me, as much as anything, that's probably what I'm looking at on Sunday. I mean, obviously everybody's going to be looking at Cam Ward, but for overall team success this year, as much as anything else, I'm looking at how does this offensive line handle this front that they're about to see on Sunday in Denver. I think that's a big storyline heading into this one.
You won't like what you see from Cam Ward if they can't, if they can't do anything. But yeah, and absolutely, it's limited with the preseason. There's still some at some point it does become as simple as, like, can you move your feet and block the guy in front of you? Right? I mean, it's game plans on both sides. It's very different than the preseason, but some of it is like, just here you go, block this guy. And I think they looked physical in the run game, and they looked competent protecting. And so if they can look that way against this defense right away, because it's just like college football in the NFL, we're going to see a lot of bad offensive line play this week in the NFL.
Yeah.
And you're going to see offensive line play improve as the season goes on. So if there was ever a time the Titans offensive line might look bad and people might say, oh my God, Bill Callahan, once we're going to have to do this again. I thought this guy was a genius. This would be the week, if it's decent, certainly it's not going to be perfect.
No,
but if it's decent, if it's solid, I think that's pretty promising, actually.
Yeah, I would agree. Like, again, based on quality of opponent, as you mentioned, time of year and, how quickly or how long it takes in an NFL season for the offensive lines to really kind of sell in here. There's a lot on the line for that group on Sunday. So, I mean, that to me, as much as anything, you're looking at areas of the Titans where they've got a chance to really improve. And that quarterback play, obviously, is one everybody's going to look at, and it's the most important. But I think right behind that is going to be offensive line. Like, how much better is it going to be? And frankly, I'm glad that they've had a good preseason. I'm glad that they apparently had a nice training camp together. It is nice that it looks like Lloyd Cushenberry is going to be back and going to be out there. So that's a big deal. We'll see what that looks like. But in a regular season NFL game, it's been a long time since you've looked at that offensive line around here and said, yep, feel pretty good about that. And it would be nice to get through the first one and us to show up on Monday morning to this show and say, you know what? I think they got a shot. Like that offensive line's got a shot this year.
Yeah, like not be talking about someone who's so bad, and with the Titans, unfortunately, it's been multiple people and usually like multiple tackles. But yeah, to just not be talking about someone who's such a sieve that everything else suffers for it. And, concern with Latham being banged up. I mean, it sounds like, the first injury report is tomorrow, right? I think that's right.
That is correct.
Yeah. That they're expecting to have their key guys, but the fact that he's had that, and then I still with Dan Moore. I mean, I was not enthused by the signing. I understood, it's like you understand that, the options are limited, but he did, by some metrics, have a better year last year, and so far it looks okay from him. I still, when they play really good pass rushers, how are those tackles going to hold up?
It's a good question. And the other part of this too is, can you run the ball at all against Denver, right? Like forget the season and, the discussion early in the year without Tajay Spears. In this game, like, can you run against what I believe was the number 2 rush defense in the league last year? Like, can you relieve any sort of pressure from your quarterback in the running game on the road, hostile environment? Look, that place, and Callahan talked about this yesterday, it's going to be rocking on Sunday. The expectation there is sky high. They're really excited about this group under Sean Payton. You got Bo Nix in year 2. There's a lot of people picking them to, if not win the division, certainly make the playoffs and have a chance to be a dark horse Super Bowl contender in the AFC. So there's a lot of excitement that Denver's got that you're going to have to deal with. Crowd's going to be nuts. So we'll see what that looks like. But can you run the ball at all against this defense, which was a really hard thing to do last year?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a big coaching game, and they all are. But this to me is the coaches. Yes, you don't overload the players or sit there obsessing for weeks over the Broncos from a player perspective. But first game, this is absolutely, you had extra time. This is a game plan game, not only to attack them and keep them off balance, but to do it with stuff your rookie quarterback can handle and is comfortable doing. I mean, it's a huge, if they look like they are, if they're obviously moving the ball, getting some points on the board, and it looks like they got Denver a little bit out of sorts, that speaks well. That's when you hire a coach like Brian Callahan, it's for stuff like that.
Yes.
Right? That's supposed to be like that.
So who's making the playoffs in the AFC? We got our AFC playoff predictions for you coming up next. We'll take your thoughts as well. 615-737-1025, our phone number. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Tune in for the NFL Game of the Week on 102.5 The Game as the Dallas Cowboys take on the Philadelphia Eagles this Thursday night at 7:20. NFL Game of the Week presented by Circa Sportsbook Kentucky and Macero in 12 South. Macero has big screens, bold flavors, and all the football action you crave. You can join the Familia at 12 South for every Dallas Cowboys game this year. So make sure you are tuned in for that coming up on Thursday. It is game week in the NFL. Season begins Thursday night. Titans are out there on Sunday against the Denver Broncos. And, Joe, it's time to once again show off how smart we are with our NFL predictions. As you mentioned last year, I picked the Bills to miss the playoffs. They ended up in the AFC title game. I picked the Bengals to win the Super Bowl. They didn't make the playoffs. So we'll see how it goes this year on the prediction front. Joe, let's start in the AFC. Your number one team in the AFC this year. Who's it going to be?
So my number one team in the AFC this year, so again, this is, just to be clear, this is the number one seed.
Correct, yes.
Not necessarily the Super Bowl
correct.
team.
That is correct.
Yeah, the number one seed will be the Bills. That is my choice for number one seed.
That is mine as well. It's a good thing they called the NFL and rigged that schedule, like Bill Simmons was talking about. Of, hey, we need all these games at home. If you guys can figure out a way to do that, that'd be great.
Has he apologized yet for saying like incredibly stupid stuff?
I haven't seen it. I don't know.
Like basic elementary stuff you should know if you talk about sports.
I mean, in all seriousness, you do go look at their schedule and you're like, yeah, it's pretty manageable schedule that they've got out there. But it was predetermined.
Yeah,
it did.
There's a formula, dude.
There's a formula to the schedule.
It's known to all.
I am with you. The Bills, the number one seed in the AFC. I got the Ravens at number 2, Baltimore as the 2 seed. I think those two are going to be neck and neck all year in the AFC.
Yep, same with me. And Baltimore really just because they have a tougher schedule. So, I mean, that's really the only reason I have them as the 2 and the Bills are the 1. But yeah, I feel like we are destined for a Bills-Ravens. And remember last year, Lamar Jackson was about to shut a lot of people up, but Mark Andrews can't catch a pass right in his hands.
Tough one.
So, yeah.
That was a tough one.
Yep.
Here's where I start to diverge a little bit. I got Denver winning the division. I got Denver winning the AFC West. I think they're going to win. I think that they will host a playoff game. I think Bo Nix will be good in year 2. And look, I just think Sean Payton's a really good coach. I think they've got a good roster. I think they've got a really good defense, which the Titans may find out firsthand on Sunday. And I got Denver as the number 3 seed in the AFC. Joe Rexrode.
Well, you're not alone. I mean, I'm seeing quite a few people out there who like the Broncos, but I'm going with the Chiefs, man. I'm going with the Kansas City Chiefs. I know it's going to be a few games before they get Rashee Rice back and all that stuff. Kelsey, Kelsey engaged, better shape, much better shape, I think, now than he was going into last year. I just, they're still the champs, and I still think they're going to have something to say about the AFC. I think some people think they're going to fall off. I don't buy it.
Who you have as number 4? I'm going to assume the Houston Texans.
Yeah, I can't.
You're not picking the Colts to come up and win with Daniel Jones?
Yeah, like I can't in
Probably not
in good faith, in good conscience, pick anybody but them to win this god awful division.
And I'm not excited about them either. Let the record show. I'm like, they might be all right in Houston. We'll see. But those are the top 4. I got Houston as the number 4 seed as well. I got Kansas City at 5. I think they'll be the top wild card team in the AFC.
Then I go Broncos, so we just flip-flop that one.
But it will be interesting, if it plays out that way for Kansas City, maybe to have to play some playoff games on the road. That would be interesting. We haven't seen a whole lot of that. So what would that look like? How do they handle that? All those things. So we'll see what happens on that front. Who you have at 6 in the AFC?
I'm going with the Bengals.
Okay.
I think the Bengals, they got to do it. It's incredible. Some of the heights they've reached, but also the 2 straight years not making the playoffs. I can't buy it. I don't think their defense is going to be dramatically better, but I think they're just going to find a way to win more games in shootouts because Joe Burrow's going to have another great year. And I think some of the close game, it's just like regression either way, right? You lose a lot of those close games. A lot of times that next year you win them and vice versa. I think they're going to win more this year.
Give me the Pittsburgh Steelers as the number 6 seed.
All right.
In the AFC. I'm interested to see how it goes with Rodgers this year. What I keep coming back to in this is Mike Tomlin has always found a way, regardless of who his quarterback is, whether it's been Roethlisberger, Duck Hodges, whoever it is out there playing quarterback, where they're always right there in the mix. So I've got a tough time seeing Pittsburgh not being right there in the mix. I think they'll push it over the table. They'll get in the playoffs. The story will probably be the same, and they'll be one and done when they get to the playoffs. But I think they'll be good enough to get in. I've got them as my number 6 seed.
So I basically agree with everything you said, and they're my 7 seed.
Okay. I've got Cincinnati at 7.
Okay.
And I'll be honest with you, I gave serious consideration to not putting Cincinnati in. I just think at some point how good your quarterback is has to matter, and they get in. I still look at them defensively, and I say, whew, they may not be very good. Like, this may be another situation where they've got to score 35 points to go win games out there. And it's great if you can do it, but it's not great to have to do it. And I still wonder if that's going to be the case with them this year.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't love it. And it is concerning. You got Trey signed, for the year. So that's obviously a huge deal. But yeah, I just think, I think Burrow's going to probably pull out a few late that they didn't get done last year. So this means we both have the Chargers not in.
That is correct.
Which, by the way, again, let me just say, if it doesn't get pretty good there pretty quickly, the Harbster, who is iced out of college football till 2038, does not just get to, coach in the NFL forever just because his brother has done what he's done at Baltimore. So that could be bad if they don't show something more this year. And then that means we don't believe that the Vrabster is going to quite get it done.
I battled back and forth between them and Cincinnati as my 7. Like, I think the Patriots are going to be pretty close.
I think they'll be better.
The Chargers lost their left tackle, and then Mike Williams retired on him before the season started. So I'm not saying it's impossible to overcome that, but that's a pretty bad set of circumstances to begin the year, of having your franchise left tackle, who you just played a boatload of money to a few months ago, out for the year, and then one of your receivers that you're relying on just up and retire before the season starts. So, it's a big year for Harbaugh. I think it's a huge year for Herbert. Like, it would be great for Herbert to elevate this group and get them in there and then do something when they're in there. I just don't have faith we're going to see it. Like, I struggled more with Cincinnati and New England than I did Cincinnati and the Chargers.
Interesting. Yeah, man. I mean, New England is going to be one of the most interesting teams, not just because, our friend of the show, good personal friend of ours, Mike Vrabel,
avid listener.
Huge listener to the show. I promise you he's listening right now. Is coaching them. They are very, very interesting. What he can do in a hurry. They've added some, Drake May. I mean, Drake May is a super interesting story this year. I'm optimistic about him, but I do think, and I think you said this before, there's maybe been a little bit of inflating, like
what he did.
Yeah, what he did and what he showed last year. But I think he has a chance to be good. Maybe very good. Love Travion Henderson. It's a great pickup. Yeah, I think they're like an 8, 9, 9, and 8 kind of team this year.
I tell you, the team I have absolutely no idea about heading into the year is Miami. I have no clue. Number one, is Tua going to stay healthy, which is a huge question. And number two, if he is, how good are they? Like, Tyreek Hill had all the stuff at the end of the year last year where he basically said that he wanted out. And now he's been trying to go on damage control with that throughout training camp. And I guess something came out where he's not a captain for the first time down there. And I guess he's on the outs with some people in the organization. They don't like it.
Guys clearly don't, and I don't blame him. He's not like a likable dude.
So I don't know, like, is that a problem when actual football starts to get played? The other part of that is, like, at some point, does he start to diminish as a player a little bit? I don't know that we're there yet, but he is 31, right? Like, you're talking about a wide receiver that has been not solely reliant, but largely reliant on speed throughout his career. So does he lose a step at some point? I have no idea what to think of the Miami Dolphins this year. None.
Yeah, I agree. I think that they would be probably the most what the heck. I mean, I think the Patriots are really interesting too. A lot of unknown, but yeah, I'm with you. Miami could be – there's a pretty big range of what they could be. And yeah, I think the Raiders are intriguing. You know, I mean the Raiders with Pete Carroll.
Yeah.
I mean, with Geno. I mean, that's a team too that I have to look at and say like they could get in there. But again, one problem is like that division is. I mean, the Chargers may not make the playoffs. That's 2 tough games.
Correct.
On top of Broncos and Chiefs. You know, so those 6 games you play in that division is brutal.
Well, that's again why I go back to Buffalo, and I'm like, I don't know what
Right.
Miami's going to be, but I think Buffalo will handle them. You know, the Patriots, I think, will be greatly improved, but you're still talking about a second-year quarterback, and still if you go look at that Patriots team, there are still some position groups that you look at and you're like, yeah, there's some work to do on that front there.
And there was some
And then there's the
concerning
Jets.
Will Campbell, stuff in the preseason. So we'll see. Yeah, the Jets.
Yeah.
How about those Jets?
As led by Justin Fields. So we'll see what that looks like. Like it should be a pretty cakewalk division for the Bills this year. We'll see.
Yeah.
I'd be stunned if it wasn't. 615-737-1025, our phone number. We've thrown the AFC teams out there. Who's making the playoffs in the NFC? Our Super Bowl matchups. We'll get into all that coming up. The Rex Rant with Joe Rexrode at 7:45. All that ahead. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. The Rex Rant with Joe Rexrode coming up here in about 15 minutes here on the program. We have rolled through our AFC playoff predictions for this year. It is now time for the NFC. We will get to our Super Bowl pick here in just a minute. Joe Rexrode, kick us off with your number one seed in the NFC as you look at how things will shake out this year.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the obvious. I'm going to go with the reigning world champion Philadelphia Eagles, my number one seed.
Did you know apparently that there has not been an NFC East team to win the division back-to-back years in like 20 years or something like that? It's crazy. Yeah.
That is crazy.
I think it's probably going to change this year.
I think so. But maybe not. Maybe there's a team a little bit south of there that
could be.
And also that team might go the other way.
Yeah, we'll see. I've also got the Eagles at number one. I just think, as we discussed last week, when you look at their roster and you're like, yeah, I don't really know where the weakness is, it's hard to not pick that as the number one seed. We just saw them do it. I think they've got a lot of depth. I think their starters are really good. A lot to like if you're a Philadelphia Eagles fan out there. So I'll pick them at number one. I'm going full homer. I'm going Packers too. I got Packers at number two. I think the Parsons trade's a big deal. I think they were a good team without him. I think they could potentially be a great team with him. So we'll see what that looks like. But
Jordan Love.
That's right. We got Green Bay at number two on the list, Joe Rexrode.
Right there with you. Don't love, I don't love that there's a little back thing. I just don't hear no back stuff at all. I mean, he's going to play, right? He's going to get a shot or something.
You might need an epidural.
Yeah.
For week one.
Man,
he does have a back sprain.
A joint sprain in the back.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean,
sciatica.
Thank you. Huge ad, game changer. And to me, they've gone from, I had them squarely in the playoffs and having a shot, because the NFC to me is it really is. You go through it, it's like there's so many different teams that could be in or not in the playoffs. They were going to be in, but now I think they're a true contender.
I've got the Rams as my 3 seed. I'm nervous about that because Stafford's got the back. He's playing week 1. We'll see what he looks like. They feel good about it. So, I mean, if he's healthy, I look at their roster and I say, well, they got Devontae Adams in on offense, Sean McVay at the helm. Defensively, I think they've got a chance to be really good. Like, it's a pretty good roster in LA. I'm nervous about Stafford, but for the sake of this discussion, I'm assuming he's healthy, and I think that they will win that division. They're my 3 seed.
Yeah, my 3 is the Bucs, and it's really just because I think, again, that division is those 6 games you get in that division, it's a pretty nice deal for you. So, but I also have the Rams winning the division, and I have them as the 4. And I'm with you. I mean, I think it's great that Stafford's playing this week. That's promising. If they can keep in one piece, they could be really good.
I got the Bucs at 4. Moving to the wild card, who's your 5 seed?
I'm going Commanders. I do think this is an opportunity for them to take a bit of a step back. I mean, I can't sit here and expect them to be in the NFC title game, right? I mean, it's just they went in and they played a USFL level defense in Detroit and trampled them. They kind of, that worked out in their favor. Yes, it's different. And we saw a little bit with Stroud and the Texans last year when you burst on the scene like that. And sometimes things, it's just different. Like the opponents are going to look at you differently. No one's taking you for granted anymore. But I still think they're good enough, and he's good enough that they're going to hang in there and be a playoff team.
I got San Francisco as my 5. Bad year last year. Obviously, they got hurt a lot. I still don't love the age of some of their really core players, right? I mean, how much does Christian McCaffrey have left in the tank? I don't know. He's been hurt a lot throughout the course of his career. I look at their wide receiver core. Obviously, they don't have Deebo Samuel anymore. They got Ayuk still dealing with the injury. So when is he full go and ready to go? They brought in Brian Robinson Jr. They brought in Sky Moore. Obviously, they weren't happy with their depth, so they made a couple moves here in the preseason. Brock Purdy, year 1 of the big deal that he signed. So I still look at him and I say, man, you're still relying on an old Trent Williams to be really, really good. You look on the defensive side of the ball, there are some questions in their secondary. Fred Warner's still an awesome player in the middle. You still have Bosa out there. I think they'll be good enough to be back in the playoffs this year. You know, a couple years ago, we were looking at their roster, talking about it maybe being the best in football. I don't feel that way anymore, but between their coaching and the players that they still have, I think they'll rebound and get back in this year as the number 5 seed.
Yeah, they are very much a forgotten team.
Yeah.
Including in my picks.
Yeah.
But, yeah, like, really, like, you look at everything and, like, they should be a playoff team.
Yeah, they should be.
Absolutely.
Well, and again, like, if they're not this year, then you look at it and you say, all right,
well, you've blown it up.
You've got Purdy that you just signed this big deal, but you got to fix a lot of everything else if it's not this year. My 6th seed is the Lions. I've got Detroit in the playoffs. A lot of people are talking about the loss of the coordinators, and I get it. I think that will affect them. I still look at their roster, and I just think there's too much there. Like, they've got too much talent to just totally fall off the table. So I have Detroit as my 6th seed back in the playoffs.
My 6th seed is the Seattle Seahawks.
Oh, okay.
And a little bit of a surprise team, and maybe I'm a little bit caught up in just watching them in the preseason, but I was watching the starters. I just really like their offense. I love the 2 backs they have with Charbonnet now, and you know, Kenneth Walker has got to stay healthy. But I mean, I like what they've got, and yeah, I think Sam Darnold's good. I think that Sam Darnold is going to fit perfectly in that offense. And I don't think that he's great, top 10 quarterback or anything, but he's good. He's a good starting quarterback in the NFL. And so I've got the Seahawks as the 6th. And then to your point, so I'm loving the NFC West. I got the Niners as the last team in.
Okay. There you go. So the Niners, the last team in there. I've got Washington as my last team. I do think they're taking a step back. I think the Commanders – look, step back meaning what? I mean, they were a 7 seed last year, right? And they got to the NFC title game. So I think they're going to be right around the middle of the pack, kind of 7 seed spot again in the NFC. Like, they've made – obviously, they brought in Deebo Samuel. They've made some additions in the offseason. But it's – number one, I think it's a better NFC this year. We'll see what J.J. McCarthy brings to the table, because I think that's the wild card team in all this. So, like, if J.J. McCarthy is really good, well, the Vikings have a loaded roster, and they could be – I mean, look, they could be number 1 seed.
Yeah.
Who knows? Like, so I have my doubts that said that J.J. McCarthy is going to come in and be great immediately, which is why I don't have them in. So we'll see what happens there. But those are the 2 I went back and forth on, of Washington and Minnesota as my 7.
So for people who may have noticed that I don't have the Detroit Lions in the playoffs.
Yeah, we noticed.
I'm going to just really quick. I'm just going to read a little schedule here. Let's see. At Green Bay, at Baltimore, at Cincinnati, at Kansas City, at Washington, at Philadelphia, at the Rams. Like, they may not win a road game, dude.
They should have called the NFL.
Yeah.
Ask them to switch it up.
Oh, then they finish out with at Minnesota and at Chicago, but like, it's an insane schedule. And again, it's a first place schedule, but yep. I mean, they're going to go like 9-8. And so I have them just losing out to the Niners for that 7 seed. They're talented, but again, go through that schedule. I mean, you tell me, it's brutal. It is absolutely brutal. Plus, you know, Tampa Bay coming to their place. You know, and obviously, like Green Bay now, I mean, those games look different. Pitt's coming in. I mean, it is crazy. So it's not just, you know, haterade with the Lions. I think that there's actually a reason that they won't make the playoffs this year.
So who is your Super Bowl matchup and your Super Bowl winner this year?
And I've changed, but I'm going with your guys. I'm going Baltimore Ravens, Green Bay Packers in the Super Bowl.
Wow. How about that?
Ravens, Packers.
You got Packers winning?
That? I do not.
Okay.
I have the Ravens winning.
This
is the Ravens' year. As a general fan of this league, I would like to see the Ravens or the Bills win one. You know, and it really largely just because I think both of those quarterbacks are good enough to do it, and they're probably as fun to watch as anybody, you know, any players in the league. So it's kind of a rooting interest, but I really think the Ravens are prime for that. And man, Micah Parsons is a game changer, man. And I think ultimately, this is Jordan Love, of course.
Yep.
And I can't sit here and say I'm convinced 100% that he's going to put it all together. But Matthew Golden is going to be a very good rookie, and I just really like their team now.
I got Bills and Rams in the Super Bowl.
Ooh.
I'm going Bills and Rams. Again, the Stafford part of this makes me really nervous because if he gets hurt or is not healthy the whole time, then I just think there's a limitation of what they can do at the quarterback spot. But the rest of their roster, I think, is really good. They were right there with Philadelphia on the road last year in the playoffs, came down to the last drive. I think they've got a chance to be really, really good this year. I got Buffalo winning. I think this is Buffalo's year. I think Buffalo wins the Super Bowl. They take down the Rams, and Josh Allen finally gets his ring, and that Super Bowl parade be pretty interesting. In Buffalo, be my guess.
God.
Fold tables everywhere.
Yeah, and how cold will that thing be?
Yeah, really cold. People be liquored up out there. Stuff be getting lit on fire.
I mean, as crazy as that fan base is, as people here in Nashville, we've seen it firsthand multiple times. What would a damn Super Bowl parade be for Bills Mafia?
It's like, wow, there's a blizzard out here, and these people are swimming through it. What's going on?
Oh my God. Actually, I'm kind of afraid of them winning it all now that I think about it. But so we've got those two teams. We've got each of them. There's
Bills, a lot of
Ravens.
Chiefs doubt creeping in to this program right here, now.
Yeah. And obviously with the Ravens, if they were to do it and get Derrick Henry a ring, I don't think he's going to be knocking on the door of 2,000 this year. I don't think, but I bet you he has like 1,500.
Yeah, I would agree.
And for him to get a ring, I mean, if you're a Titans fan, I know that there would be, obviously there'd be some, sadness about that, but you got to feel good for him if that's
I think you would feel good about him. I think you'd still be just sickened that Baltimore wins another Super Bowl.
Right. It's still hating the Ravens is eternal. So, yeah.
We'll have the Rex Rant with Joe Rexrode coming up next. Take your thoughts at 615-737-1025. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game.
Sometimes he wakes up on the wrong side of the bed. And sometimes he's just, well, Joe.
Awkward moment. Let's do it.
This is the Rex Rant, now on Robby and Rexrode.
What's that going on? Snapface? Get that on there. Yeah, good.
Congenital heart disease, more like congenital heart disease.
We had a lot of teams calling us about Michael.
And I do think this offensive line is built to pound.
You can ask me anything you want to ask me, Joe, but
I challenge people to text us funnier diseases.
I might lose my mind today.
It is that time of the day, the Rex Rant with Joe Rexrode. You can check it out every morning here on the program.
Yikes. What was the rest of the Vrabel thing there? You never heard everyone?
I don't know. I can't remember.
I don't remember that one. What the hell was that one?
I don't know, but apparently you left quite an impression on him at his press conferences.
Yeah, I know you're listening, Vrabel. Get your ass to work, okay? Stop worrying about us, all right? I'm going to talk a little about fantasy football today. So we have our draft this week.
We do.
Robby Rexrode draft Wednesday at
Twin Peaks.
Mm-hmm. Can't wait. Excited. Apparently, we got some teams. Someone's named my gout doctor and, pocket mints. So the team names are ripping me, which is great. Excited about that. Should be great. I'll FaceTime the college boy in from Michigan State, and, we can talk trash to him too. I'm in another league with the Athletic. Great. 2 leagues. Sounds good. It's all you want. I don't know how anybody does more than that. But apparently I am in a 3rd league, which apparently had a draft. But who the hell would know? Because I never got any notification. No one ever told me what time or when. I never heard anything about it. But apparently the Titans Media League, run by Paul Kaharski, a.k.a.
You're searching for a word you could say on radio.
What's the guy? The guy who walks around and never is completely oblivious to cartoon character. I've called him
Mr. Magoo.
Thank you.
Yeah,
a.k.a. Mr. Magoo, running the freaking league. Hey, good job, great job. So let's see.
Not lost on me that he could not remember the name of Mr. Magoo there.
Yeah, I know. There's some irony there. Okay, so here's my team that was autoed after that. I got Justin Herbert, Devin A. Shane, and Chuba Hubbard. I got A.J. Brown. Jameson Williams is my starting receiver. I got, Kenneth Walker, who's hurt a lot. I mean, I got like Quinshawn Junkins and Holiday Brown. I have 2 kickers on my roster. It's terrible.
So Kuharski's the commissioner here and did not let you know when the draft was.
Ramondre Stevenson. So again, you all heard me publicly saying I don't want to be in the league. And go, no, you have to be in the league. Okay, well, let me tell you something. I want to apologize right now to every single person in the Titans Media League because I am a corpse, okay? When you want me to do something with my team, this is Weekend at Bernie's 3, okay? I'm a corpse. I'm not doing anything. This is me doing the team. Oh, you have to hold me up. A Weekend at Bernie's 3. I will not touch my team all year. I will not do anything with my lineup. So good for you. You get to beat me. But then when you need me to do something against somebody in the league at some point, I don't care. I'm never touching my team. I'm not doing anything. I didn't want to be in the league. I'm out. So thank you, Paul Kaharski, for screwing up your league by not letting me get out and letting somebody come in and take my spot. Good God.
A lot of anger that just came out there. A lot of anger.
I don't want to be in the league. I shouldn't be in the league. It's Titan Media League. Long fuse. I'll yell at him all over again when he comes in here this week too. But I want to apologize.
Which will be tomorrow, by the way. So get ready for that.
That's right. I keep forgetting it's Tuesday.
Yep.
So again, I want to apologize. Let's see. Andrew, so sorry, buddy. We got TD. I mean, I enjoyed being in this league. I enjoyed winning it one year too, by the way. But Glennon and all these guys, Jimmy. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that Kaharski made me be in the league, but I'm going to screw up the league now, and I don't care.
We need to. I mean, I'm more concerned with Kuharski's managerial skills here. Like, if you're going to be the commissioner, probably your most important job as commissioner is to make sure that your people know when things are happening, right?
And you
like
didn't get a text in real time? Like, hey, The draft is starting. Joe, where are you?
Like a few weeks ago, I think he said the draft will be Sunday. So first of all, great time to do the draft. Sunday of Labor Day weekend. That's brilliant scheduling by Commissioner Koharski. Brilliant. But yeah, then there's never anything else. I mean, I didn't think about it at all. And then I'm sitting there, I'm like, wait a minute. That draft must have happened, huh? And I looked, I just looked just now. Like what an absolute buns team. How could an auto draft be that bad too? Yeah. How could auto drafting be that bad? I thought some people actually like end up with good teams when they get auto drafted. Am I wrong about that?
I mean, the 2 kickers is pretty
I think
solid.
you do sometimes, but you have to be in like one of those home leagues where a lot of people take, quarterbacks in the first round. And then your auto draft team will be all right.
So if you're in a league with a bunch of idiots, then your auto drafting might be okay.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there's a lot of people in this league who aren't idiots, and they probably drafted good teams, and they're looking forward to a competitive year. Unfortunately, they have a corpse team that it does not exist that is going to be just taking up a spot in the schedule each week. Sorry.
It's amazing to me that no text was sent while the draft's going on. To your point, Ian, like it's one thing to forget the email before, which is bad enough, but no text while like, hey Joe, where are you? We're drafting.
League.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not
nobody.
Yeah,
nobody sent a text.
Everybody in the league, they all have your number, right?
Nobody knew that Joe was on auto draft.
Every single person in that league, I would say, has my number.
Maybe they did. They knew strategically. Oh, this is good. We can just get an easy win against Rexrode every week.
Yeah, that's fine. So you will.
Well, that's great.
I won't look. I won't look at the score. I don't care. But at some point, you're going to be pissed that some team in the league has half of its lineup is hurt and out for the year, and they're still starting them, and they're going to, beat someone that you would like to lose. So,
but like,
sucks.
Yeah, I understand it. Like at some point, I guess you just get put on auto draft, and it just makes the pick as soon as you come on the clock. But like the first few picks, right? It just sat there, and all the time was clicking off. Like that drives me nuts when people do that anyway. It's like, hey man, make a pick.
Yeah, that's a good
So nobody
point.
texted you? It's like, Rexrode, you're on the clock. What are you doing?
Right.
I'm very disappointed in Paul Kuharski.
Pathetic. I mean, how the heck is he in charge of this league? I mean, if I'm in this league, all you other people, I'd be really upset at him right now. But whatever, man.
I can't wait to see you confront him tomorrow on this. It's going to be good. I wonder what his rebuttal will be. Maybe he did send you an email and it went to your spam folder.
I mean, again, just text me. The texter says this is a stupid rant. Well, true. And that said, I bet you could get a listener on your team. Is Stillman in the league? He's not. I'll let him, I guess, if he wants to. I'll text him today.
Do you want my fantasy team?
What's that?
You can sell a spot in Robby and Rexrode or the Titan Media League.
Maybe I should do that. Maybe I should put it up for auction. Sell the spot. Let me know, people. Let me know what you're willing to pay.
You'll never know when the draft is, but other than that, you're in good shape.
The problem is selling this spot now. It's like, who the hell would want this team? This team's terrible.
615-737-1025 is our phone number. A lot of your thoughts to get to on the text line. On the Titans front, we will get back into college football later in the show as well. That coming up. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Final hour, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Robby Stanley alongside Joe Rexrode, Ian Safar here with you on this Tuesday morning, taking your thoughts on the Titans at 615-737-1025. We are live from our Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. The Titans taking on the Broncos this week, and a couple injury things to keep an eye on / recovery things. So T'Vondre Sweat back out there on the practice field. He was asked yesterday about getting back into the flow of things and the challenge that the altitude is going to present. Basically said that he feels good, that he's going to be prepared for it, and all those things. So we'll see what happens. Couple things from just a viewing standpoint on Sunday that I'm interested to see. Number one, how effective is T'Vondre Sweat when he's out there? But number two, how much is he out there? How often is T'Vondre Sweat out there? And then Sneed. Can Sneed get through practice this week? Does he do anything in a team setting this week? And is he ready to go, available week one? How much does he play against the Denver Broncos? Two guys on the defensive side of the ball that I will be very interested to see come Monday morning, how much we're talking about them in terms of how much they play on Sunday in Denver.
Yeah. And of course, the injury report tomorrow will be very interesting on the Sneed front in particular, right? And others, but Sneed for sure. I don't know if this is a hot take, Chase. Hot take. But I'm going to say right now, I predict that Sneed has more snaps than Sweat in this game. How about that?
I think that classifies.
It might be 0, but I'm going to predict. Yeah, is that a hot take?
I think so.
I think that's hot. It's a take, and it's hot. So it's a hot take.
I mean, the altitude thing, it's a factor for sure, right? Like playing at that altitude. When I look, I haven't seen what the weather's going to be in Denver. Denver weather is amazing. I remember the Titans opened the season there in, 2020? And I think it was 90 some odd degrees that day. And then the next day there was a snowstorm there in Denver. So you never really know what the weather's going to look like there. But again, in all seriousness, I'm interested to see how Sweat handles that.
I mean, it looks okay according to the quick forecast here. I mean,
looks like 81 and sunny.
Yeah. So,
but see,
weather's good, baby. T'Vondre, get out there.
But if you're a big guy and you already have the altitude and it's like 80, it's still. Sweat is like
60s or 70s.
Yeah, exactly. 50s. I mean, what is Brownlee going to say about the weather after this?
It's still a little cold out there, guys.
It's still too cold.
It's still a little chilly. If we could get it in the mid-90s, we'd be fine.
But Sweat is like the last person that you want to like miss all this time in the preseason, all the just conditioning, being in game shape, et cetera, et cetera. Like, even if he has been doing a great job in terms of food intake during all this time, he's still, and it's, he's still like missing all that time. There's no way that's good for him, especially playing at altitude. So again, I think that the best thing about the Titans, if he's going to take a step as a player this year, could be that tandem with Simmons and Sweat, but I just don't know. I think we'll probably see more of it in future weeks than we will right away. Like, we're going to see it, but you're going to have to rotate a ton, I think, up there.
Well, look, I will be pleasantly surprised if Sneed gets out there and it's just, hey, Sneed's out there and he's played 80% of the snaps today. 80, 85%. He's out there on defense. Like, I will be, number one, I think, stunned if that happens that way. But I will be very pleasantly surprised if that's the case. I am so intrigued by him, not only just from the whether or not he's going to be available, but I think more than anything, like, how good is he? That's what I want to see. Like, how good is L'Jarius Sneed coming off all this when he's not played football in a year? And frankly, before he got hurt last year, he was okay. I know the defense around him wasn't that good, but how good is he out there? Like, is he just getting torched by Cortland Sutton on Sunday? Like, or is he playing well out there? I'm so intrigued by what he's going to look like on Sunday.
Yeah, no, I am too. Look, to me, if he's available, he's playing the whole game. I mean, like, he's a corner. He knows how to play corner. Like, you don't need to rotate there. I mean, he may not be in quote unquote game shape, and yes, altitude, but I think it's a totally different situation than like a Sweat, right? Yeah. So yeah, to me, if he's playing, yeah, here you go. You're an outside corner for an entire football game, and to your point, then you get into if that happens. First of all, that's a big deal, and then you get into how good is he? He was okay last year. He didn't exactly wipe away half the field, like he was like Charles Woodson or Deion Sanders last year before he got hurt. So can he beat 80% of what he was in his best years in Kansas City? That'd be pretty good.
Here's the other thing. Let's say the Titans, like Cam Ward throws the ball 30 times on Sunday. How many of those are going to Ridley? Like, what's your over-under on targets for Ridley on Sunday?
Good question. A lot. Like, if he throws it 30 times, 12 to 15 to Ridley?
That's what I'm thinking. Like, I'm looking at – I understand the rest of the offense. It's so unproven from the stand, or it's proven to the point where it's Tyler Lockett, and you're wondering, like, okay, what's he got left, right? Like nobody's asking Tyler Lockett to prove himself at the NFL level. He's done that. But what is he now? About to be 33 years old. Is he at this stage of his career good enough to be like your number 2 target, like every game in, game out? I just look at it, and I think Ridley's going to get targeted a lot. The problem is, like, you look at it this week, and I have no idea how Denver's going to try to play him. I don't know if they're just going to leave Surtain on one side of the field and let him go, or if he's going to follow him. I don't know what their game plan is going to be. But, like, you're talking about arguably the best corner in the league, which I would assume is going to see Ridley at least a fair bit in this game. So how does that impact where Ward's going with the ball?
Yeah, no, for sure. I like how much are they like straight up traveling? If I'm the Broncos, I'm just not afraid of anyone else.
No.
And I think Ridley looks really good. I think Ridley is primed, especially with the chemistry he has, which is so different than a year ago. And, the fact that, I just feel like he's a captain. You can make a big deal of that or not. But I think it means something. It's comfortable. Second year, we know about the first year stuff with Jacksonville and Tennessee, but kind of put that stuff behind him. And I still think he's very explosive. So, to that point, if I'm Denver, I'm like, okay, if that guy, we don't let that guy go off on us, then who else scares you on this offense? And then I'm very intrigued with the Titans and just the rotation at receiver too. How much is Iamaleava getting out there? How much, is Van Jefferson involved? How are they looking at that? Is he going to really use the depth, or is Callahan can have 3 main guys and it's going to be mostly them in the offensive game plan?
Yeah, and if Denver is able to, I don't know if totally shut down, but at least severely limit Ridley and his effectiveness in the offense, are they even equipped to move the ball without that? I don't know. Like, conventional wisdom would say if you're devoting that much energy to taking away Ridley because you look at the rest of the offense and it doesn't scare you, then you should get some one-on-one matchups somewhere else, and you just got to go win them. But can they win them consistently enough? That's where I look at it. And, like, I don't know. Like, is Iamaleava as a rookie in his first game in altitude at Denver going to be a reliable target for Cam Ward? Tyler Lockett in the slot? Like, can you move the ball consistently down the field? Like, I guess if it's not going to Ridley, where's your big play coming from? Because to me, that's where you need, like, you got to have some big plays if you're going to put up some points against Denver's defense. I think it's going to be really difficult to just have 10, 12 play drives and sustain that throughout a game against this defense.
Yeah, like as a DK, can you sneak one into him, on a shot, something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. They're not going to be able to sustain drives. Now, as Jacob brings up in the YouTube chat, maybe they only need like a 3-play drive that goes to their own 43, and then you bring out Joey Sly in the altitude and just bomb away.
81 in altitude, so you can tack on, I don't know what, 5 more yards?
If he gets maybe a little bit of wind at his back.
Yeah, maybe then 8 to 10 more yards.
75-yard field goals all day long.
A 78-yard field goal out there. Good Lord, look at Joey Sly out there.
I hope we get to see a ridiculously long attempt from him, at least once.
Have you ever seen?
What do you know about Ray Finkel?
Yes. Have you ever seen a more jacked kicker than Joey Sly? Like, it's amazing.
I don't think so.
That guy's ready to make a tackle.
Yeah. Like, what if, like, like Ed Hockley, was like giving the good sign under the goalpost after a Joey Sly kick. We'd think we were watching like pro wrestling or something.
Yeah, I'm interested. I will say, like, if I'm Callahan, they get to the 50, they get stopped on 4th down or on 3rd down. Give it a shot, man. They get a 70-yard field goal in the altitude. You didn't have to get to midfield.
Yeah, of course he misses, and then Broncos start it. Plus territory.
Look, hey, man, they're used to special teams causing them starting in plus territory. They did that all last year.
That is true.
So your defense, like, just pick it up, baby. Let's go.
This would be a more acceptable way for that to happen.
It would.
Give it a shot.
It would. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. Who had the best weekends? Who had the worst weekends in college football? There's a lot of competition for both. We'll get into that coming up next. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game.
What can you do to get Cam prepared for such an environment? Because it's maybe unlike anything he's ever seen playing in college football.
Yeah, you turn the music up as loud as you can to practice. You just got to work through it. I mean, he's played in loud environments. It's not new. And generally speaking, it's not every single play. It's usually the third downs and in the low red zone where it really amps up. But got to be on top of the silent cadence. Got to be on top of our operation. make sure we're not putting ourselves in down in distances because of some false starts or miscommunication. So we got to be on top of those things, and really you just emphasize it, and he's going to figure it out as he goes.
That's Brian Callahan on Cam Ward, getting ready for the Broncos coming up this weekend and the environment that will be there. Now, I will say, Cam Ward played in some pretty good environments in college football, so I don't know that Sunday is going to be like something he's never seen before from an environment standpoint. I'm sure the Broncos fans will be loud though.
Yeah, when it comes down to it, to me, the intensity of the best college football environments blow away the NFL environments.
I would agree. Seattle
has at times, been pretty special, and there's some great environments. Denver will be great, but I'm trying to think though. What would have been the best last year for Cam at Miami? I don't remember because they didn't go to Clemson. That would have been that's one of those places.
Well, they went to the Swamp, and that game was over with very quickly. So I'm sure the start of it was a nice environment.
That's right. Yeah, he shut that up real fast. By the way, his TD pass, which was ridiculous in that where he's drifting left. The Beck TD pass was a little bit reminiscent of that. The really nice one against Notre Dame. But yeah, I think silent counts and all that stuff. I mean, you're going to have some false starts. Your offensive line will, but I don't think that's the issue to me. It's just much more like just NFL defenses seeing it post snap, what they just changed up on you, getting the ball out fast, throwing it accurately, like the crowd, it becomes a non-factor when you snap the ball. That's when it gets hard.
So, Joe, a big weekend in college football. It was fun to watch, some top 10 matchups. Some lived up to the hype, some did not. Your biggest winners, biggest losers in college football this week. Let's start with who had the best weekends in college football in your mind.
Yeah, a lot of great candidates for this. I mean, I have to look at Florida State, multiple. Like if you're going individually, I mean, 3 people just at Florida State. I mean, Mike Norvell needed it badly. Yeah, different times he's been a little, close to that hot seat. Obviously, after last year, it is a total disaster. And what a comeback. And Mike Norvell is probably the most portal-dependent coach. Like they've just, again, some of it is by design, but also they've just had to do so much. And it's amazing to me. They have a lot of guys up front on both sides of the ball who are new. And bad offensive line play, as we've talked about on this show, that's kind of a hallmark of week one of early season. And yet that offensive line looks so cohesive and powerful against Alabama, which is just stunning to me. But Norvell, Tommy Castellanos does all the trash talking. Again, Saban basically on game day is laughing at the kid. And I don't blame him. He was so confident. He told him, he's like, I'm trying to save you. Someone said, I mean, McAfee, I said, well, I don't know about Florida State. And Saban's like, no, it's not me. I'm going to save you. Do not think that Florida State has a chance. And he was so confident. And Castellanos gets all this, the Bama players, we're going to, all disrespect will be addressed and blah, blah, blah. And it turns out he kicks their butt. And then he starts selling all his merchandise on his website, too, for the Saban can't save Alabama thing. So that's a big winner of the weekend. And then Gus Malzahn, to me, is a huge winner of the weekend, just as an OC. Others that are obvious, Brian Kelly, big time, huge win for him. That stands out for sure. I do think that I would also I would throw in Carson Beck. And I would also throw in, I think, Josh Heupel. I think Josh Heupel is a big winner of the weekend, just to kind of remind everybody that he has a strong program. He's built up a strong team, and they can bring in a guy kind of just last second scrambling to find a QB, bring him in and and look as good as they did against at least a competent, solid team. That's pretty impressive.
I'll throw another one in there. Iowa State survived South Dakota. They won 55-7.
Kansas State had the trickier one versus the other Dakota.
North Dakota just about got Kansas State. So, I mean, I guess it's
the coach was ranting around about the wrong Dakota.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yes.
Like maybe Matt Campbell, misscouted. I don't know what was going on there, but as we were told after week 0, the toughest schedule in the country, luckily Iowa State, by the skin of their teeth, 55-7, got past South Dakota this weekend. So I'm glad that they handled, Joe, that first part of that schedule. And now they've got, a daunting task of Iowa, Arkansas State, Arizona, and Cincinnati and Colorado the next 5 weeks. So prayers out to Iowa State football. Glad they got it done.
Continuing this incredibly rigorous path. My goodness. I mean, how could you not look ahead right now to having to deal with Butch Jones and the stuff that he's going to have for you? By the way, a good text from Liam McLeod. Winners and losers. He said the brothers Pavia tick both boxes.
Yeah, they do.
Diego was great, and Roel and Javier both arrested with public intoxication resisting arrest. So
it was an eventful weekend.
Yeah, eventful weekend for the Pavia family. Yeah. Obviously, when they beat it was the Vatech game last week, right? Last year when one of them was like, "Who is that dude with the cowboy hat and the glasses, shirtless?" Yeah. So according to these court docs, and this is Paul Scribine actually wrote this for the Tennessean. Actually, WSMV gets credit for getting this doc. Javier was, quote, intoxicated, staggering with an odor of an alcoholic beverage on his breath. I mean, look, if you are a Vanderbilt fan, Pavia family or whatever, I mean, this is probably like the tailgate's more interesting than the game type thing.
I would agree.
I'm just saying. I'm not making excuses for anybody, but I'm just saying.
I'd agree. Didn't get fired up for the Charleston Southern game.
Yeah, so you're gonna have it's a night game, right? You're probably gonna do a little bit of tailgating. Roel apparently shoved an officer and fled, but then he was caught outside the stadium. So not as elusive as Diego.
I guess not.
So there you go.
It's not. Winners and losers. Brother Pavia this weekend. Matthew saying Army had a rough weekend, losing to Tarleton State. I actually watched that. I watched the last part of that game. I was like, I'm watching Tarleton State and Army play football right now. It's amazing.
That's you're a sicko.
Yeah,
for that one. By the way, speaking of Army, on a winner, I'm gonna shout out to and I just talked to a kid on the phone yesterday and wrote a story about him. But I don't know if anybody did you see the video of the rescue?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
And my gosh, I talked to him yesterday. I wrote a story about him, and now it's Pickett Jr. I want to make sure I get this right. But if anybody hasn't seen this, and his dad posted this video on social media. The family went to New York City. It was like, and they were coming back home. This guy had just run his car into a utility pole. It was down. Okay. So, I mean, you're talking about a very dangerous situation. And this Army sophomore safety, Larry Pickett Jr. and his dad, Larry Pickett, jumped out, dragged the guy who was unconscious across the street. And a few seconds later, the car burst into flames. Yeah. So, anyway, I talked to this kid yesterday, delightful young man. I mean, that's a winner of the weekend. And, man, talk about courage. And like it's flat out saved this guy's life. So, shout out to them.
Well, TCU football definitely gets a vote for the winners of the weekend. Is their total demolition of Bill Belichick and company last night.
And I'll give you TCU football's X account doing a hell of a job of trolling UNC. I love the, hey, when's that first episode come out of the Belichick? When's that one come out?
Yeah. 48-14 last night against Chapel Bill. Am I allowed to say that?
Chapel Bill?
Yeah, they've been trademarked.
You might get sued.
I don't know, man. Okay. That's the thing. Some of this stuff, whatever, like this relationship, other people making a bigger deal and all that stuff. But then the trademarking, now we get the documentary and it's like, and then your football team plays like that. Who's the biggest loser of this weekend? Is it Bill or is it Kalen? I think it's really, really close. I think it's a very good debate. Bill or Kalen?
I'll lean Kalen.
I think I do too.
Yeah.
Because Bill, we'll
First
see.
game.
It's first game, and people like Dan Walken think you're going 11-2, but I didn't think that. And so yeah, I mean, you got to give him some time. And I mean, you could say the same thing about Kalen DeBoer. I mean, it's only been 14 games, but 9-5, and it's playing that poorly when, again, like Nick Saban's confidence on game day after being around the team, giving him a speech, I believed him. He's like, the culture's totally different. It's no more scrambling to put, they figured it out. And then for them to come out and just be punked and be out physical and also continue to make stupid mistakes like this idiotic personal foul where the guy takes a forearm shiver to Castellanos on the ground when they're about to get a stop. It's just the undisciplined, weak football from Alabama is shocking. I gotta lean his way. Even though more people are probably gonna make a big deal out of Belichick now, I think I'm with you. I gotta lean with Kalen.
And I kept looking at it. I was like, hey, get the ball to Ryan Williams. What are you doing? Like, whether it's a jet sweep, whatever it is, get the ball to Ryan Williams. What did he end up with? 5 catches for 30 yards. Like, that should never happen with Ryan Williams.
Yeah.
5 catches for 30 yards.
No, I agree. And again, a lot of it is, I mean, the Bama offensive line, I can't believe how they were handled as easily as they were. We got a lot of other losers to get into.
We certainly
Some
do.
local ones as well.
We certainly do. Real quick, let's head to our 1025 The Game phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Welcome in Cam to the program. Cam, good morning. Thank you for calling in.
Yes, sir. Good morning, fellas. I'm
Okay.
telling you, this couldn't have been a better topic at all. I've been waiting all weekend for you guys to come back on and it just so happened this popped up. Biggest winner of college football, Deion Sanders for another paid endorsement. Biggest loser of college football weekend, Depends undergarments for men, because they sponsored the tent for his little segment for his little pop-up porta-john, the little tent thing for his little pop-up porta-john on the sideline. So is he wearing the men's diapers or is he not wearing the men's diapers because he has the porta-john on the sidelines?
I don't know.
Biggest loser in college football, Depends undergarments.
Thank you, Cam.
That's funny. But the Depends is on the tent.
It's on the tent. Yeah, for sure.
So I guess it's like you could go in our diaper, or we could just offer you a portable toilet.
Nice tent. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's under the tent.
As long
I don't know if anybody's asking.
As long as you urinate with our name attached to it,
Doesn't matter
we
where.
win.
Yeah, doesn't matter where.
I would let them pee around the field.
It's always something PK puts in there. 615-737-1025, our phone number. A lot of your thoughts to get to on the college football front next. We will do that. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game.
Arch, it seemed like you settled in as the game went on. How would you assess your play and kind of the growth that you got in the 6 games?
Yeah, ultimately not good enough. Obviously, you don't want to start off the season 0-1. They're a good team, but I thought we beat ourselves a lot, and that starts with me, and I got to play better for us to win. Can't wait till the second half to kind of get things going.
From my left, Eric. Arch, when we spoke with Steve, he talked about the offensive rhythm that which has been a little bit better. From your vantage point, what did you see from the offensive rhythm today?
Yeah, it didn't start fast enough. Took a whole half for us to kind of even get the ball down the field. So that starts with me. Got to get back to square one and get back Monday and go prepare for San Jose State.
As Arch Manning did not go well for Arch this weekend against Ohio State. That may be putting it kindly. He looked bad. Looked bad on Saturday against Ohio State. Got something going at the end, but it was too late at that point. Looked off with some of his decisions, Joe. Looked fundamentally off with some of his throws. And now the conversation around him is apparently he should not be allowed to play football again. We'll see what happens on the Arch Manning front.
Yeah, look, the overreaction is guaranteed. You said it earlier. Either way, it was pretty much guaranteed. I still think he could be really good this year for them, that they can be a great team. I think they're going to be there in the end. I like his talent. I like the intangibles. He was bad. He was very bad in this game. And again, it's just like, this has been a rant, but it's like, yeah, great. He was a 5-star quarterback. I can name you a million of those who never did anything in college football. Yeah, great. His last name is Manning. Okay. I mean, he's a prospect. He has great resources with his family. It doesn't guarantee this whole and it's NFL fan bases, I think, and NFL analysts, draft analysts, more than anything in this whole thing. Oh, yeah, number one pick. First of all, he's basically said he's not coming out next year. I think we watched this game, and it's like, oh, yeah, I can see him not coming out this year. He's going to need some time. I think he can still be an NFL quarterback, but this whole, guaranteed number one pick was so stupid. And still bothers me all over again. If he was that good for sure, I promise you that last year, as Quinn Ewers was struggling at different points, and this did happen during the Georgia game, he would have taken over the job. Quinn Ewers.
Spurrier said it a few weeks ago.
Quinn Ewers, who, by the way, 5-star, number one QB in the nation, et cetera, went to Ohio State out of high school. Turned out to be a okay college quarterback who's a fringe. I mean, he's a backup in the NFL, but he held off Arch last year. Arch in his second year in college. Does that not tell you something? I didn't like just some of the misses that he had.
They're bad.
And some of his mechanics to me look weird. Like it's this unnecessary at times sidearm, but also a little bit of a hitch when he throws. That's what I thought I saw. But he'll be fine. I mean, they're going to overwhelm most teams they play. I'm sure he'll have some big weeks, but it was a slap in the face to people who just think this is preordained.
I would agree with that. I still think he's ultimately going to end up being a really good player. But he looked bad Saturday. It is what it is. There's a lot of work that he and that team have to do. And maybe we get to the end of it and Ohio State's just an absolute monster defensively. I have no idea. We'll see what that looks like. I mean, clearly Ohio State has some good defensive players. But, I mean, Texas is going to see some good defenses this year. I mean, Georgia plays in the SEC. Yep. They're going to see some They're going to see some good defenses. So we'll see how he handles that. A lot of people talking about Nico on the text line.
Yep.
As a loser of the weekend.
Nick.
I mean, it did not go very well for the Iamaleava camp this weekend from the standpoint of they're awful. UCLA is terrible. He did not play well in that game against Utah. And then you had Joey Aguilar for Tennessee go out there and throw for 247 yards, 3 touchdowns, and they put up 45 points against Syracuse.
Yeah. We've had some overreaction today. Joey Aguilar. I mean, Dustin for Hopkinsville was like, I'll take Joey Aguilar over Arch. Okay, let's calm down. The problem with Nico, I understand the hate watching. I guess I would ask Tennessee fans to enjoy your hate watch first week, but now move on to just focus on your team and understand it's going to be bad for Nico. I think it's just a big reminder of how much they botched it. And again, I blame his dad more than him. I blame his dad and his fake agent. And no, they just totally screwed him over because we talked last week or 2 weeks ago about Tennessee, if he leaves or whatever and ends up in the NFL, then the Tennessee preparing guys for the NFL conversation. I don't think there's going to be much talk from the Nico side of things because he's on a team so bad. Like, I think he's going to hurt his own chances. And maybe he's not good enough. Like, obviously last year, speaking of overhyped, there were people talking about him being a Heisman winner.
Yep.
As the season went on, we saw flaws. Didn't use the middle of the field, overthrew some guys. He also, I mean, I had people like commenting on the thing I wrote about this weekend. It was like, he never did anything last year. He was along for the ride. I'm like, well, if you watch the second half of the Alabama game last year, he was as big as anything in winning that game. Let's not pretend like he did nothing good. I just don't know what he'll be able to do good with that garbage team around him. They're so bad. And he's screwed himself by putting himself in this situation.
No, I agree. And like the idea that he's going to come out after this year and go to the draft, like he just seems so far away from that right now. And again, like it's not like I'm looking at UCLA's schedule right now. It's not like it's just some gauntlet that they're about to have to run through. I mean, they got UNLV coming up, which is interesting. We'll see how that goes. New Mexico, Northwestern, like those are all winnable games for them. And then you get into the Penn States and the Michigan States. They got Ohio State later in the year. Like they're going to have some rough Saturdays out there at some point. But like I was watching them the other night and I'm like, man, they may win like 3 games. Like they're bad. They're really bad. I did not think that they would be that bad.
Nah,
maybe Utah's really good. I don't know. But I think Utah is a decent football team. Like I think they're like a 8-4 type team.
Yeah, I mean, I think they'll come back. I love their quarterback that they got from New Mexico. I mean, the way they're using him, he's gonna be interesting to watch this year. I think they're good, but yeah, UCLA is one of the bottom to me. Like, I mean, I think they have a case. They will have a case at the end of the year as one of the worst, like 5 Power 4 teams.
Yeah,
like they're right. Like they are bad. A lot of people talking about. Actually, I like the Nate. I'm the winner of the weekend. We were too exhausted from the Pickle Fest in the Borough, so we didn't go to the Middle Tennessee shellacking. Brutal weekend for Middle Tennessee.
Not very good.
Great weekend for Austin Peay, by the way. So, but to go in there and do what they did to them, that doesn't bode well for a team that I thought could really be a lot better this year.
Well, we talked about. I mean, you had an experienced quarterback in Vadiato, and they got bigger. And felt like, from our conversations with the MTSU football team, that they upgraded on both lines of scrimmage, right? That they got better at both lines of scrimmage, and they were going to be able to rush the passer a little bit better this year, got some better athletes. It's one game, but it's Austin Peay, and you got dominated. Like, it wasn't like you just lost. Like, you got dominated by Austin Peay. Now, maybe that says great things about Austin Peay. It probably does at their level, but that's not good for Derek Mason to begin year 2. Like that's the type of loss that you look at and you say, I don't really know where this thing's headed. It may not be very good with Derek Mason.
And it's not probably fun to then, although I think, another coach and program to watch is Luke Fickell with Wisconsin this year. And they look very underwhelming. And I just, the offensive issues there are real, but like it's not great for morale probably to have to deal with that now.
Yeah,
up in Madison,
going to Madison, and then the rest of their schedule, we'll see. But like if they're just bad again this year, and you're talking about winning 2 games or whatever it is at the end of it, like that's not a good spot to be in for Derek Mason in year 2. And look, there's some challenges like. There's a big story a couple weeks ago about the helmets, and they're trying to save as much money as they can. And all these non-power forward teams now are looking around and trying to figure out where all the money's going to come from, right? Because you've got the NIL part of it. You've still got the facilities that they're trying to catch up on and all these things. There's a lot that goes into it. To me, it's probably more challenging now than ever before to be one of the have-nots in college football. Like it's a rough deal because the moment you get players that are really good, they look up and they say, cool, I'm going to wherever.
Their excellent receiver from last year looked great for Michigan State Friday.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like the moment you find a good player, it's like, well, cool, they're going to be playing for, Auburn next year or whatever it is. So I think it's a really tough time to be one of those schools, but regardless of all that, like there's a lot of programs dealing with that, and MTSU, that's not good.
Yeah,
on Saturday.
Beat an FCS team.
Yeah,
don't get punked at home by an FCS team. Keith, I like this. says, I'm a VFL, and I wish Nico the best. He's a good kid, was always kind of respectful, and he gave me a good year of football last year. Yeah, again, I put this to you in the 6 o'clock hour, and I was a little surprised. You were hesitant. But to me, if you made things all equal, I mean, Joey Aguilar, great debut, great story, all that stuff. Let's not forget that he led the nation with 14 picks last year. Like, I'm still taking Nico just as a player and the talent. Again, Nico, second year of starting, Joey Aguilar, 7th year in college. Now, again, you like the age, you like the experience and all he's been through. But I'd take Nico. I mean, people on here talking about Joey over Arch, Joey over Nico. I think that's a little bit of an overreaction. But again, I don't want to downplay like what Joey Aguilar has done in a short period of time to operate that offense as well as he did.
Well, I do think it says something that he's been able to come in 3 months, and that offense operated at a level on Saturday that it did not approach last year. It did. The passing game was better in that game than it was at any point last year. And I don't know what that says, but it's not something that I ignore either. Like, I think there's a lot to be said for running the offense. And I think Nico has got some processing issues. I think there's a lot that he struggles with there. Talent-wise, it's not close. Like, Nico has got an unbelievable amount of talent. But again, on Saturday, like, he's just missing throws. He's missing reads. And it's like, you got to get that part of it figured out at some point if you're going to be an NFL quarterback.
Yeah, and UCLA is going to make it really hard for him to figure it out.
It is. Yeah, they are absolutely terrible.
They get beat at most spots against any kind of decent team. I really like with Tennessee, Staley, Brazel, Matthews. You're talking 11 catches, trying to do math here on the fly. 11 catches, 187 yards, and a touchdown for those 3 receivers.
Yeah.
Which I think is promising. Brazel.
We
don't talk about Brazel much, but 5 for 62, and they just
steady.
Yeah, and then some of that Staley hype is looking a little bit like it was not overblown.
I didn't think Aguilar and Matthews were on the same page very often. So, and I think clearly, like, you see him catch it, and he's got a little wiggle to him after he catches it, and it's like, all right, well, I think it's still at the end of it, he's going to have to end up being their biggest difference maker at wide receiver. But I mean, they ran a post route with Staley, and he just cooked them. The speed that he brings, I think they're very excited about. Again, we didn't see much beyond those 3, so they've got to stay healthy.
Yeah, you need Matthews. You can see the burst and everything with him. Yep. Just you got to keep getting him going, and figure a way to get the ball in his hands. Texter says it's hard to blame Nico for taking a shot himself. The system's flawed. He tried to capitalize it, and end up being the NCAA sacrificial lamb. But you can't blame him for trying. I do blame him, but again, I blame his dad for thinking that last year's performance warranted some big raise. It just didn't. And the way they went about it was ridiculous. And again, this guy, Big Nick, his dad, has put his son
in a horrible situation,
in a bad spot, in a less money with a terrible team. It's not going to help him maximize his talent, because if you play quarterback, I don't care how good you are at quarterback. It's a team sport. If you're a very talented quarterback on a terrible team, we're not going to be able to tell that you're a very talented quarterback. And I think that's what we're going to find all year with Nico.
We'll wrap up the show coming up next. A lot of your thoughts to get to on the text line. We will do that. Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode. I got some tickets to give away, a 4-pack of tickets to see the Mexican national team square off against Korea Republic at Geodis Park coming up on Tuesday, September the 9th. Be caller number 5, 615-737-1025. Our phone number, 615-737-1025. We got a lot of responses to our winners and losers of college football.
Have we missed anybody who's an obvious winner? I mean, I think Brian Kelly's a huge winner of the weekend.
I would agree.
Yeah, as much as the general college football fan / human being doesn't like the guy, which I get. You got to give credit. That's a big time win on the road. And I think to me, the quarterback discourse out there, I mean, the two guys who really stand out to me, Garrett Nussmeier, I think he is the best NFL prospect. I think he's going to be the first quarterback drafted in the next draft. Another guy who, in some ways, he does things that are absurd, but also the consistency still there. Lenora Sellers from South Carolina. I mean, I think he's a Heisman guy just because of some of the plays he can make. I mean, he's like untackleable at times. Also, I mean, that offense for a lot of that game
wasn't very good. Yeah.
But Carson Beck to me is another guy who reminded people I'm a good player, and I can be an NFL quarterback too. And I was really impressed with what he did against Notre Dame.
What is the path forward for Kalen DeBoer in Alabama here? And what I mean by that is, Alabama fans are already talking about firing him. And I think for most programs and people, that sounds absurd in year 2. He is 9-5 there. And look, I do think, and I heard Andy Staples and Ari Wasserman talking about this too, and I agree. If they lose 3 more games this year and they're 8-4, they might fire him. It might happen. I know the buyout is an astronomical number, and that's a lot of money, especially in today's college football when you're having to allocate money all these other places for players and all this. I get it. It's a lot of money. But do you think that they're what has to happen this year for Kalen DeBoer to be in serious jeopardy of getting fired in 2 years at Alabama?
Yeah, I mean, it seems absurd. I don't think this is I made the Brian Harsin comparison in print, and it's hard not to think of that because the big comparison is some dude comes out of the Pacific Northwest who's never been here in the SEC. And I know things are different now in college football, because the money aspect changes it, but I still think there's something to that. And obviously Brian Harsin was a complete disaster, and also just he was a jerk. I mean, he handled everything poorly. I think DeBoer, he talks a good game. I think he's a good coach. It's hard not to believe he's a good coach. You can look at what he did at Washington, and before that at lower levels, consistent winning. But I agree with those guys. Alabama people will be like, okay, $63 million or whatever it is at this point. Okay. I think it's really on the table. I don't think that you can miss the playoff. The playoff expands and Alabama's not part of it. That's unfathomable to me. And yes, you're never going to follow Saban. It's a terrible thing to try to follow a legend, the best coach of all time in college football. It's never going to go well for anybody, but you can't let it fall off this severely. And the thing about college football is one thing that hasn't changed at all during this new era. When negativity starts building against a coach, I think in no other sport, pro or college, sometimes it just gets overwhelming.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times have we seen this with Tennessee coaches who not long before it started to snowball? I mean, my God, halfway through 2016, Butch, yes, Butch, we're going to Atlanta. And then by the time you get early in the next year, it's he's got to go. He's gone.
Yeah.
And it's early, but if that negativity snowballs and they don't figure it out and they don't make the playoff, then I think it's absolutely on the table that he could be gone.
I mean, they've got, they should win these next 2. They've got, Monroe, they're going to win. Wisconsin, it looks like a sexy matchup on paper. I think Wisconsin might be bad.
Yeah.
So they should win these next 2. And then you're talking about at Georgia, home against Vanderbilt, at Missouri, home against Tennessee, at South Carolina, home against LSU, home against Oklahoma. That's their 7 weeks after that. If you're any one of those teams, and I would include Vanderbilt in that, you're any one of those teams, aren't you kind of looking at them right now like blood in the water a little bit? You're like, oh. My point is there is no invincibility feeling to them at all anymore. They're still unbelievably talented. Like they will be, I think, favored in most of those games, Georgia notwithstanding. But like I don't look at any of those teams and say, yeah, they can't go get Alabama.
Right. Like I saw this with Michigan football when like Rexrode, and everybody's like, oh, they're going to win national titles. And it was a disaster. And it's like teams love to beat you because of your name. So they're up for it, but also they don't fear you at all. Yeah. And that's a bad place to be. A few people have thrown this out. We should definitely talk about it. One of the big winners, Lee Corso. I thought they did a fantastic job on game day. Also, all his picks were right, including Florida State. Yeah. And every team he coached or played at also won. Yeah. That's pretty freaking awesome.
It was awesome. It was good stuff. Great show today. Appreciate the participation. We'll be back tomorrow. Paul Kuharski will be with us in the second half of the show, looking ahead to the matchup against the Broncos. Next Man Up with Jake Lyman coming up next. You're listening to 102.5 The Game.